Hello and welcome to Texas Motor Speedway. Week 7 of the Elite Championship Racing season kicks off here at the gloomy, overcast, and very cool Texas Motor Speedway. We were back in Xfinity action last night, so the track has some action seen already this week. But for the first broadcast race of the week is going to be from Texas. I welcome in my MOTV partner, Colin Fern, myself, John Bucher, and Colin. What do we look for tonight? I'll ask you the same old question from these drivers.
Well, John, Texas is already a very fast track. It has a lot of grip, and there's multiple lanes to be used. Is tonight that the wind. I mean, there's not much. There's 5 miles an hour, but it still plays a factor. And these guys are going to really have to use it into their advantage or disadvantage. And I think you're going to see a lot of slick moving, and you're probably not going to see a lot of side-by-side racing until later on in the night. Yeah,
with those cool temperatures, not a whole lot of grip out there on the track, especially with the overcast. See the track temp, only 70 degrees, a very cool racetrack. iRacing does not actively update the track temp as well, so it will be 70 all night long. 65% humidity, and as Colin mentioned, almost no wind. So we'll go ahead and kick things off. We'll pull on our first driver interview of the night, that 00 car, or excuse me, the 50 car of Matthew George.
Hey, Matthew George, you got a couple, buddy?
Yeah, I got you.
Hey, man, what a start to the season for you. You're in 5th in points. You're 6th on the chase grid. You're only 6 points out of the points. You only have 3 top 10s, though. How have you done so far?
So my goal so far is just to stay consistent. I'm shocked, really, to be running this good. I'm really just shocked, to be honest. I'm just trying to stay consistent, keep getting these top 10s, and learning every week as I go along.
Absolutely, man. And you said right there, you've been very consistent. You and your teammate and team owner, Justin Bland, you guys are doing a great job at the start of the year. And to be able to be 4th and 5th, a teammate, it has to be really great feeling for both you guys to have both you guys being successful.
Yeah, it is. Working with him, we're doing a fantastic job. He's a great teammate, great team owner. I love being on that team.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck tonight in your number 50 machine, and we'll see you out there. You're out there 21st on the practice grid, but hopefully you'll be able to pick it up, and we'll see you later tonight, buddy.
I'm hoping so. Thank you.
That one's the driver, the number 50 car there, Matthew George, and sounds like he's one of those guys, Colin, tonight that really just want to go out there and have a good run.
Yeah, John, I think a lot of those guys are going to be out here just hoping for a good run, much like last week. Figueroa in the 00 had a good run last week. Mark, you got a couple, buddy?
Yes, I do.
Hey, man, your mile-and-a-half program has been off the charts. You've done a fantastic job so far on these mile-and-a-half tracks, and to be able to go out there, you've done a great job. What's your goal for tonight?
My goal for tonight is just keep the first half of the race nice, good and clean, try to be up front, contending for the lead, and wait for the latter part of the stage where my car seems to really likes to shine here as of late, and I'm going to try to see about getting it back up front where she was last week at Vegas.
Absolutely, man. You said it right there. You finished good at Vegas last week, and the other mile-and-a-half we went to at Atlanta, you started on the pole. What do you find that's so successful here in these mile-and-a-half tracks?
I don't know. These mile-and-a-half tracks, there's a lot of room for give and take, and me personally, I pride myself on trying to make my setups for a long run. These quick little 10, 20 lap runs, I'm going to lose spots. If it's 30 plus laps, that's where you're going to start hopefully seeing my car come into its own and go from there.
Absolutely, man. And as a team owner, you have a driver in 8th in points, and you and yourself are in 11th in points. That has to feel really good for your Classic Motorsports group.
Yeah, it does. It really does. And even though you got Anthony's team, Haters Make Us Famous, and all those boys up at the top, I'm wanting to be that dark horse and come up there and try to spoil them or something like that towards the end of the season.
Absolutely, man. Well, you're 00 National Guard Chevrolet. You're 6th on the grid in practice so far, so good luck tonight, buddy. Hopefully you can stay up there in the top 10.
All right, I appreciate it. And I just want to say, give a shout out to John Knoll, my newest member of Classic Motorsports, running the 9-0 car tonight. So the three cars tonight that we should be up in the front.
10-4, and there you hear it, John. Classic Motorsports picks up another driver in the 90 car. He's currently 20th on the grid. That's John Knoll in the 90.
And that is one of the stories here tonight. Many of the storylines we'll talk about. A lot of new drivers in the field tonight, Colin.
Yeah, John, ECR always does a great job with recruiting. We got a lot of good guys out here in this league, and to be able to get these new guys such as Matt Moritz and John Knoll and a couple other guys in the field today that are going to be able to get their first cup start, such as Jeremy Rubin, who's doing a great job. He's second on the grid right now.
Certainly, we saw a few weeks ago with Matthew Thunhorse making his first ECR Cup start, finishing second to his owner and Auto Club, and almost getting that victory. Nothing surprises us anymore when it comes to the Young Guns here tonight. Speaking of Young Guns Racing, Nick Olson in the chat as always. A big shout out to him. He's one of the many supporters we have here. Thank you to all those guys that are stopping by. We should get qualifying kicked off here in a minute. Is it 5 or 10 minutes tonight?
It is 10 minutes. They didn't like what they saw last week with the 5 minutes. Excuse me. They did change it back to 10 minutes tonight. So a lot more time for these guys to get out there and try to hot lap.
A little bit less panicky, maybe. Last week did seem a little bit rushed, especially in a mile and a half like Texas. You figure 45-second out lap, 30-second lap. You don't have a lot of room for error, which in a way some guys like, but this is virtual racing, and this is supposed to be more of a lax environment in the Cup section. So hopefully going to get some good times tonight put down, and we'll see who can grab the pole. A lot of big names, though, back in practice here tonight. George Price, Justin Bland go by your screen now. Guys kind of struggling to find some speed out there.
Yeah, John, Kevin Cook, Chuck Carroll, guys we saw up front last week, including our other guy who already qualified for the chase, Sean Medling in the 37. He's back in 25th right now.
But after last week with Anthony Titchener 9th in practice, started outside the top 10, ended up coming out of nowhere and winning at Kevin Harvick style with the closing finish. Certainly not going to be surprised if a guy comes from the back here in a mile and a half. Texas, we know, is one of those tracks that can breed some exciting finishes, to say the least. We're going to get qualifying kicked off here. We'll get you some shots of these cars and pull up your top 5 and see you can go out there and snatch that pole.
It's going to be interesting, John. I think the guy to beat today is probably going to be AJ Scarborough. He won last night, John, in the Xfinity Series race. You and I both know we finished second and third. We had a great run for our Moist Motorsports crew, but AJ Scarborough was the class of the field, and he has a real knack for this track, John. I'm not sure what he has. He's so successful, but that 5 car of AJ Scarborough is fastest in practice. Be one to watch out for him for the pole.
Yeah, AJ always the guy to watch out for. He's obviously one of the better talents, I think, in ECR, and one of those guys that really knows his way around a race car. He's been around for a long time, and if anyone's a favorite week to week between him and Anthony Titchener, that's certainly a good pick each week. You can see right now on screen Matthew Thunhorse keeping, at least as my trading paints is showing, the college theme coming over from last week with that Mizzou Nation paint scheme on the number 6 Chevy SS. We do have Anthony Titchener running. We went from Alabama last week, as Colin mentioned, to him running a Dallas Cowboys scheme this week, so we continue the I guess haters make us famous team, keeping that theme going with that. But
Matthew Thunhorse currently, John, up there, the 27.64. He
improved right now,
his
big
practice
gap
time by
times.
800ths.
Waiting for some more cars across. Right now, your top 5 showing Thunhorse, Price, Salmazo, Hibbs, and Vincent. But as we mentioned, you can see almost 0.5 of a second gap from 1 to 5. That'll spread out just a little bit. Jeremy Rubin, one of the newer guys, jumping up there to second, and AJ Scarborough.
And
now,
AJ Scarborough right up to the top of and by almost 0.2, John.
Yeah, no shocker there. AJ's had speed. We mentioned you and I gave a good
Anthony
dig
Titchener goes to second.
Just last night, finishing second and third, but AJ just drove away with it last night. So he's got some speed here at Texas. 27.48 on the pole right now.
John, you see Luis in 7th right there right now, but how about him? He's done a great job. He's helping out with the admin in the league now. He's part of the board on the ECR, and he's up there doing a great job in his number 14 car. Changed teams, changed everything tonight for this week. So Luis Salmazo in the 9 car excuse me, I'm making a mistake. Luis Salmazo is driving for Nick Gillis, who's doing race control tonight.
Yeah, big shout to Nick. He stepped out of his car this week. He was running for points, but he stepped out to step up and do race control for us. We weren't even going to be able to have a race without race control. So huge shout to Nick Gillis stepping up and taking that. And Luis hopped in his car for him tonight. You see a little different look for Luis in that number 9 UAF car, but certainly hoping to have a good run and get some owner points there for Nick, as he's doing quite a nice thing by stepping out of the car tonight.
Yeah, John, Nick Gillis doing a great job. I know we had trouble earlier in the week with our race controller. for whatever reason, one reason or another, not being able to be available. And Nick Gillis really doing an admirable job of stepping up, and he did it last night as well, and he's doing it tonight. Great job by usually the number 9 car, Nick Gillis.
I must say, a good job last night as well for someone that's not generally in the race control spot. We had a very, I'd say, well-paced race last night. We didn't have any issues, and everything went pretty smooth. So coming off again, I hate to bring it up again, but Martinsville 2 weeks ago, these guys still looking to rebound.
And John, I hate to interrupt you, but new guy,
look at Jeremy Rubin
in the U.S. Army. Wow.
To the pole already. Looking to do his best Matthew Thunhorse impersonation and take over the weekend.
Wow, isn't that something, John? We guys coming here, it has to be something to do with the adrenaline that they get of being the new guy and coming out here and working the rear ends off and coming out here. And he's sitting on the pole right now as 4 minutes seems to be passing by. And
it may be a thing of lack of stress, too. When you do this week to week, the pressure builds more and more. When you just come in here your first week, in terms, you don't really have any expectations on you. You're kind of just the new guy, you know, if you can keep the nose clean and run 15th, you're doing something right. So you don't have a lot of expectations coming in. So you just go out there, run as fast as you can in qualifying, and these guys throwing down some very good laps.
And Mark Figueroa, John, we just talked to him. He beat his practice time by almost 2/10. He's up there to 3rd on the charts now.
Those qualifying setups really coming in for these guys. Winding down, we got just about halfway through qualifying here. Jeremy Rubin, your pole sitter, AJ Scarborough, just behind him, 2/100ths of a second.
Yeah, John, if I know AJ, he's going to go out here. You see him right now making a lap. 200 miles an hour entering turn 1. With these cold temps, John, it makes for a lot of grip and it makes for fast speeds, it's sure. And you see him getting a great run off turn 2.
Yeah, there's certainly,
almost
if you can
200
find it
miles
there
an hour
tonight,
again.
There's some speed. The engines don't get very hot with these cool temperatures, but certainly find some grip out there. Can really
He's
make this
pushing
thing
off 4.
stick.
I don't think it's going to stick.
Oh, hard in the
outside
wall.
And guess what, John? He can, thanks to, lovely iRacing, that we can go out and he can exit this car and he can go try again.
In real life, that would be a backup car, and iRacing is a press of the escape button, and we refire. One thing I did want to talk about really quick after watching that is something to watch all night long. Texas has walls very similar to a short track like Richmond, where they seem to come out of nowhere. Especially, turn 4 is not too bad, but turn 2, that wall is really flat. There's no washout room.
John. You get out there, like you arc the corner out like you normally would at 1.5 miles, and you can't, because you see right there that the wall is just
flat.
It's flat, and you just have nothing to do with it.
And the worst part is, with the way the banking works, the way the transition works, you can't really lift and get out of it. Once you're headed towards that wall, your best bet's to brace for impact. You're probably going to catch some of it. You got to try to minimize, but certainly going to see some guys with some torn up right fronts tonight. There's no doubt about that. Texas seems to breed that type of injury, and don't think we'll see any lack of it tonight with these cooler temps and the extra grip in that right front tire.
Absolutely, John. Well, we got 24 guys have turned a lap in qualifying so far, and Jeremy Rubin and AJ Scarborough are currently the ones on the front row. Mark Figueroa, Charles Silver up to 4th, John. How about that?
That's a good run for him. He needs a good finish. Charles Silver's one of those guys that
he's been having good runs, John,
we've
all
talked
year
about
long.
Him all year
he's been
long.
fast.
He just doesn't
he was running in
seem...
the lead last week.
Yeah, he had the lead for a while last week, and he needs to go out there and get that chase lock-in win.
He has an average finish this year, John, of 13.7, which is not bad. He's 9th in the points. He's 10th on the chase grid. He just doesn't have the finishes to show for it. The kid works his rear end off, and he comes out here, and he just doesn't have the finishes to show for it.
But it'll come. We see it with Kyle Larson and types like that in the Cup Series. You just got to keep persevering, and I think he'll do that. And a very level-headed individual. He's not one that expects to come out here and win 5 in a row. So he's got it all painted out for him, and I think we'll be seeing him in Victory Circle before very too long.
Oh yeah, John, it wouldn't doubt it one bit. He's a good driver. He has a lot of talent. He's young, he's inexperienced, and he just has that ADD of sense where you just lose focus just for that slight moment, and that's just something you can't do in a Cup Series car.
No, these cars, they do not react very well to quick changes in turning, acceleration, anything. They're a very smooth driving race car. Anthony Titchener, I thought, had a very good lap going there, but pulls down, not improving his time. That lap looked really smooth in that Dallas Cowboys SS. Just not quite there for Anthony. He's in 5th, a much better qualifying effort than last week, I want to add, so it's certainly not a bad spot to be, but, if anyone knows Anthony.
200 miles an hour.
AJ, I think AJ is going to be one to watch tonight for sure. He's got some serious speed in that race car. And his line is very, very smooth.
Oh, he hit the wall, and that lap is going to go for naught.
quick update here for those
unless
of
he
you
didn't get a 0x.
that don't iRace yourselves. In iRacing, on a qualifying lap, he is going to go ahead and pull off here. You cannot have any incidents, and that includes what they call a 0x, which is a scrape with anything or any kind of contact that doesn't result in an actual incident point, but it's still considered an incident, and so 0x will nullify your lap. In order to have a qualifying lap count, there must be pretty much no contact with anything on the racetrack. Grass, walls, other cars, which you would think, I mean, if you contact something like that, not going to be a very good lap anyway. But
yeah. And how about Wayne Willard, John? He was third in practice with a 27.571, and he comes out here in qualifying, he's 16th on the grid. He's really struggling in qualifying, Jim.
Yeah, some guys just don't qualify well. I mean, we see it week to week. Some guys, for whatever reason. Yeah, talking about myself there, I qualified 15th last night, or 18th. It's actually almost, 18th last night. Brought it home third. So qualifying at Texas, you can pass here. This is certainly a track where you can pass. So qualifying's not the end-all, be-all, but some guys just don't. I mean, Wayne's a guy we call every week, and he started up front last week, and it didn't end so well for him. So
yeah,
maybe a little further back
John,
in the pack.
The problem with Wayne is that he's so fast, and I think sometimes he just drives too fast, if you know what I'm saying.
There's a limit with these Cup cars that other style race car doesn't have, and I think Wayne sometimes find that limit a little bit too quick in a race. Which is very easy to do because these cars feel like they can go a lot faster than sometimes they can.
Yeah, absolutely, John. It's unfortunate for that. I mean, he does do a great job. He has a fast car every week. He's part of that Haters Make Us Famous crew that's been to victory lane 4 weeks in a row, and he wants his turn at it. Yeah,
I mean, Anthony Fitzger's got 3 wins already this season. He's won the last 2 races. We haven't really talked a lot about his chances tonight, but he's always one to keep an eye on.
I don't know if you're on AJ Scarborough right now, John. You see him go all the way up to the wall to get the fastest run he can off turn 4. And he's using the draft up there. I'm not sure who that is.
Looks maybe the 34 car up in front of him?
It is. I think it's Stephen Massey in the 97, John. But he's using the draft of that car. You see him get a little wiggle off turn 2. I don't think it's going to hurt him too bad if he can get down in turn 3. You see him barely off the throttle,
Just
John.
Barely out of that throttle. You can hear the accelerator right back to it.
It's going to hit that bump.
Oh, and he kills that outside wall. There is that little bump down there.
And John, if these guys are doing it right now, Jeremy Rubin, John, on the pole. But if those guys are hitting the wall now, I'm curious to see if that's going to play into a factor in the race.
And Mark Figueroa with a great qualifying effort. He comes home 3rd. I didn't even notice he was on the board.
And Charles Silver up to 4th, John. Anthony Fitzgerald 5th. Nick Groth 6th. Matthew Thunhorse 7th. Aaron Vincent 8th. Josh Mayu 9th. And Rob Burns 10th. But we're going to bring down Anthony Fitzgerald, John. His number 87, Jim Beam Chevrolet. Hey, Anthony Fitzgerald 87. You got a copy, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, man, I don't know what to say. I mean, I'm kind of getting sick of talking to you. I mean, every week we see you, we're talking to you, and tonight you're in our race reporter. You got 3 victories on the year, and you, as a team owner, you have 4 victories in a row. How does that feel for your 87 team?
Oh, it feels great, man. I mean, obviously we're trying to go into Texas here with the 1.5 miles. We feel like we have a lot of success here, so hopefully we can keep up with it. Actually, AJ was just saying that he kind of got mad he didn't get the pole there. He got the pole last night, and had a good run, man, and won it last night. So we're hoping we could just keep on with the success here in the Gen 6 series. And congrats to yourself, by the way, for winning last night. Or getting the points lead, sorry.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And Anthony, you start 5th tonight, and you mentioned your success in the 1.5 tracks. You have a 1.3 average finish on the 2.5 tracks we've had. So, 3.5 tracks we've had so far. That's remarkable. 1.3 with 2 victories and a 2nd place finish in Atlanta. What do you do that's so successful here at these 1.5 tracks?
Just try to find something that's comfortable in the long run, man. It's all about the long runs here. You know, obviously you want to try to have something that's not too tight, not too loose. I feel like you just got to understand what the car does on the long runs in order to have success here. So it's not about being fast, more or less just being up front, being smart, and not being too aggressive. Just going to try to take it easy tonight.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck tonight. Your drivers start 2nd, 5th, and 8th. I mean, you guys did a great job in qualifying, so good luck in the race as well as you're getting ready to roll off the grid.
I appreciate it, bud.
And that was the always dangerous driver, the number 87 Dallas Cowboys Jim Beam Chevy SS, rolling off fifth tonight. Colin, if you want to go and set the rest of the grid, and we'll get this thing kicked off.
Absolutely, John. Jeremy Rubin and his 34 U.S. Army machine making his debut tonight, John. He's going to do it right from the pole position. AJ Scarborough's won last night in the Xfinity Series race. He has a lot of success here at Texas. He's going to start in the outside front row. Second row, we got a couple newcomers up here, a couple surprise guys. Mark Figueroa is in third. He always has success in these mile and a halves. And Charles Silver, who's done a remarkable job all season long, he's going to start fourth. We just talked to Anthony Fitchner, John. He's going to start fifth. Nick Grohl's going to start sixth. Matthew Thunhorse in the sixth. He's been fast ever since he joined the Cup Series. And he's going to start seventh. And Aaron Vincent in the 49 is going to start eighth. Josh Mayhew is going to start ninth in his 61 car. Rob Burns 12th. Stephen Massey 11th. And Luis Salmazo is going to start ninth tonight. Excuse me, I'm way off right now. Luis Salmazo is going to start 12th. In the number 9, Matthew Hibbs is going to start 13th. John Knoll making his debut is going to start 14th. And George Price rounds out the top 15 in the 21.
Should be an exciting race tonight. Texas, one of those tracks known for some great side-by-side racing, some great side-by-side finishes, and we don't expect anything less tonight. The cool temperatures, nice track temp, small little breeze out there. Should be a fun one for sure.
24 cars, John, all trying to do the best they can.
Pace car is going to make that hard left turn, cut across that UPS sign, and we are going to be green, and the new guy is gone.
And look at him, Mark Figueroa, John, also gets a great restart on the inside there, trying to get underneath AJ Scarborough, trying to clear him before turn 1. And Nick Groth, what a great restart for him. He's going to start 6th. He's going to cut down in front of Anthony Fitchner, slide up a little bit. He's up 3rd on one turn.
Something to watch out for tonight. This is one of those tracks very easy to what they call chop somebody's nose. It's just that type of racetrack. So a lot of tempers last night in the Xfinity Series race, and I'm sure we'll see no shortage of it tonight. It's just one of those tracks. It's frustrating. Anthony Fitchner fights back on the bottom, though. He's looking for that 4th place position.
He's looking for it, and I think he's going to get it, John. In turn 1, he has the preferred line going in on the bottom.
And he is going to clear that number 19 car.
I think at 19, be careful. He might cross him over here if he can get a run. I don't think he's going to get the run. Anthony does a great job of making it stick off turn 2.
Quickly single file here at Texas. Very tame racing. The only side-by-side. Back in the pack with Chuck Harrell and 01 Wayne Willard.
And they're doing a very good job of letting each other go back there as well. But Mark Figueroa is not letting Jeremy Rubin get away. Jeremy Rubin leads the first 2 laps in his number 34 U.S. Army machine. Mark Figueroa, AJ Scarborough, and the rest of the field has something to say about that.
Certainly a lot of very calm racing out there tonight, something we're not used to seeing. But Anthony Fitchner doesn't want to hear about it. He wants 3rd place from his teammate, AJ Scarborough. And AJ's going to give it to him. Anthony Fitchner to 3rd already. We're only on lap 3.
He's doing a great job, John. He saw Nick Groth get a great restart. He's back to 5th right now. Starting the race 6th and moving up to 3rd. He's back to 5th. Wow. Some great racing all already.
Such a different start to this race than we've seen the last few races.
I know. I'm not used to it.
Something must have clicked this week with these guys. I know they had a lot of different talks, different board members coming in, different disciplinary actions being put in place, and I think these guys are really starting to respond to Anthony's ownership of this league, and they're really starting to respect it, and really single file, calm racing, and I'm happy to see it.
It's a great thing, John, and I know Anthony, I'm sure, is going to watch this broadcast, and I'm sure he's going to be able to be really appreciative of what everyone's doing.
Oh, and just as we talk about it, caution is out. Wayne Willard around off the bumper of, I believe that was the 88. Chuck Harrell also involved. That old MOTV jinx. We shouldn't have said anything. Oh, and Wayne Willard trying to turn around is going to hit the wall again. And there's, again, the pre-race story. Wayne Willard just cannot catch a break. We'll go back and give you a shot at it here.
And George Price, John, he's also involved. It looked like Chuck Harrell hit the outside wall. Came down, hit Will and Wayne, and George Price had nowhere to go.
See, up in front, looks like Chuck Harrell, as Colin mentioned, is going to get up just out of it into that outside wall, bounces off. Hard contact for Wayne there. That's a tough break. You said also was the 48 of George Price caught up in that?
21, I believe he's running this week.
Oh, yes, it's 21 of George Price. Apologies.
But yes, he was also involved. Just a little bit front end damage on when he hit the 88.
Go back and get you
and
a look.
Hearing over the radio, John, Wayne Willard's motor is blown.
And I imagine, on that note, George Price's can't be in too much better shape. Big black smoke pouring out of the back of that 21 Haviland machine. awful break for these gentlemen early on. It was such an orderly race, Colin, and just one little slip wasn't due to any
And John,
racing.
we talked about that outside wall coming out of nowhere, and sure enough,
you see it here early. Only lap, what were we on? Lap 5 when that happened. And that outside wall already takes its first victims and takes 2 more with it, with Wayne and the 21 of George Price. Just nowhere to go. It's a shame, too, because George Price gave us, speaking of pit strategy really quick, no one, I don't think pitted besides damaged cars, but George Price threw us
about 16th on that.
Threw us this great driver overlay. I want to really quick use here on the 00 car. Really nice driver overlay, and I wanted to give him a big shout out. I apologize that I didn't get it done before he had that incident, but again, George Price, a huge help to us here on the broadcast and the league in general, and thank you again for him. All he does, he sent us a whole new theme for the program we use here tonight with numbers and overlays and all kinds of different stuff. So all that unpaid, just out of the goodwill of his heart, and he helps us out a ton. So thank you. Sorry, George, you got caught up in that early incident, but a huge thank you from us here at MOTV for all that you do to help us out. How about this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Jeremy Rubin holds on to that lead, and he's going to get the lead again when we go green here in a few laps.
Yeah, but John, he's going to have a little different story starting right behind him. Anthony Thischer in the 87 is going to be right behind him on that inside row.
Yeah, that's
I
not
think
the
he's
guy
gonna
you
have
want
something
behind
to say about that.
Anthony Thischer, one of the more get-to-the-front-oriented drivers, and he does not generally want to ride. And so if you don't feel like racing, that's not the guy you want behind him. And early on, not a lot of guys do, and I think we might see that 87 car out front here before too long.
It's nothing new, John. We usually see him up front all the time, and just nothing new success that he has.
Yeah, there's not much these guys can do. I mean, Anthony Thischer, I say it almost every week, puts probably the most time of anybody into his setup. That guy, every time I come on here, he's got practice rooms up, and he really is dedicated to making his setup and his car and his team the best that he can, and it pays off week to week. We see him up front and really running well every week.
Yeah, John, he puts in a lot of time in his number 87 machine, and I hate to say it, but that Dallas Cowboys car is definitely one of the favorites tonight.
It's not a bad paint scheme, honestly. I'm not a Cowboys fan myself, but I will say I'm not hating the paint scheme change. He's loyal to the Jim
I just want to say one thing, John.
There.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Oh, I forgot you're an Eagles fan. Okay, so we're split up here in the booth. I like it. I know Colin, it could be the best paint scheme in the world. He wouldn't like it, but a lot of good paint schemes here in the field tonight.
There is a lot of great paint schemes, and that U.S. Army out front, I believe Nick Gillis made that one, and he's doing race control tonight, so thank you for that. But we're getting ready to have this restart. Tonight is going to double file back up. Jeremy Rubin and Mark Figueroa is going to be on the front row, John.
Yeah, you got, as you said, Jeremy Rubin, Mark Figueroa, Anthony Thischer, one of the favorites tonight, third. AJ Scarborough in that number 5 car, another favorite, in fifth. Nick Groff had a great restart last time. We'll see if he can do it in that 5th position. Matthew Thunhorse going to be in 6th in the number 6 car. Aaron Vincent in 7th. Charles Silver 8th. Rob Burns 9th. And Stephen Massey, your top 10.
Yeah, John. Josh Mayo is going to be in 11th. Luis Salmazo is in 12th. Matthew Hibbs, 13th. John Knoll, 14th. Sean Medley in his 37 machine. He's going to be 15th. Big mover, 8 positions up from where he started. Corey Chaffins in the 16th position. Kevin Cook, 17th. Matt Moritz, 18th. Justin Bland, 19th. Really struggling tonight. And Chris Turcoy rounding out the top 20.
I think all those cars seem to have stayed in the race, I believe. I'm not showing any retirees from that wreck, so Chuck Harrell going to bring up the rear of the field here. I believe George Price is back there, and Wayne might still be in the pits getting that engine swapped out, but with iRacing's new damage repair model, might be able to get all these guys back in the race and hopefully not grab that DNF tonight. We're getting ready to go back green here. We're going to have 158 laps to go, still a lot of time left in this one.
Here we go, John. Double filing up. 22 cars still left on the lead lap. Chuck Harrell got the EOL for that caution right there. George Price 1 lap down. Wayne Willard 2 laps down, and probably going to go any more as the green flag's about ready to go, John. And here it is. Jeremy Rubin with a great restart. Anthony Thischer with another one.
And Anthony Thischer actually stacked just a little bit there. Not one of the best restarts I've seen him get on the season. Usually, as we've said, the master restarts, but a little bit of a slip there. I think Jeremy Rubin might have beat him in his own game.
And John, Mark Figueroa gets chased way up the hill. We got one loose on the bottom. Nick Roth up the third on the inside past his teammate and team owner Mark Figueroa. Matthew Thunhorse wants to take 4th away.
Not
and Mark
so
Figueroa,
orderly.
John's not where you want to be.
No, Mark Figueroa, it's very easy here, much like a short track style like Martinsville. If you get up on that outside lane, you are going nowhere. And you need to start trying to find a hole in line here. You cannot hang on that outside lane. Maybe if you just overdrive the hell out of the car, but not going to be too fun up there for him. He's got to slide down, and it looks like he will in front of the 49 Aaron Vincent.
He does, John, and Anthony Fisher now sets his sights on the new guy, 34 of Jeremy Rubin. Probably can't be at all intimidated by Anthony, John, since Anthony hasn't really raced around Jeremy except for last night.
No, I mean, like I said, when you're the new guy here, you kind of don't know who you're racing with, and it's almost, you know, a burden off your shoulders in a way, because you can go out there with a fresh slate and really race everybody the same. And I'm sure he knows, and Anthony, being the league president, probably knows what he's doing in a race car, and one could assume that. And I'm sure now that he sees his bumper getting a little bit bigger in his rearview mirror, it proves those assumptions. But I think he'll be okay out there. I think he'll race him just like you would race anybody else, and we should have a good battle for the lead here in just a minute.
Absolutely, John. How about Nick Groth up in third? He's doing a great job in his number 19 car. Matthew Dunhorst fourth, and AJ Scarborough falling back to fifth.
Yeah, AJ did not get a good restart there. I'm not sure. He was kind of on that inside lane. I think they got stacked, and he might have got the worst of it. Kind of lost a few spots and got shuffled back. But
and we got a battle for the lead, John.
And Anthony is
got
there.
Mark Figueroa slide up. He needs AJ Scarborough. Doors him up into the wall.
I saw him start that move, and I thought it was a little dive bomby. And it looks like it might have been. The 00 just touches the 5. Good recovery by the 5. He'll hold on to it. But as we know, AJ's had a bad string of luck these past few weeks, and that is not going to help his composure.
And we had a
going
pass for the
forward.
lead. Anthony Fisher, the inside of Jeremy Rubin, for the lead down the backstretch. And once again, John, the 87 machine is back out front.
And a good move there by Jeremy to let him go. You cannot pass him back on the
Oh,
outside.
Nick
So
Ross gets loose. Hits the apron. Nick Ross chasing up the hill. What a save by the 19. Wow.
Nick Groth,
What a
again, a
save.
guy we've talked about, much like Wayne Willard, who starts up front and just, for whatever reason, can't keep the wheels under him. Almost had another incident there. Stunthorse is creeping up on his back bumper, but a good save, and he'll keep charging forward. Front four on breakaway now.
Save right there.
1.2
John,
seconds.
I think the 6 is fast. I think the 6, he's been quick ever since he came into the Cup Series, and I think he's definitely a fast car. And Nick Groth chases it up the hill again. Really unstable car right now for that number 19.
Yeah, Nick's not been good on the short run all season long, and it's cost him a few races just tearing the car up on these short runs. He's got to hang on to it. Loose back in the pack to 10 with a wiggle out of the quad oval there. Newcomer to the league there. Or, excuse me, that's Matthew Hibbs, a guy who's been in the league. We just don't see him.
One guy I'm watching, John, is Kevin
Oh,
Cook.
and Aaron Vincent around on the backstretch.
No, he's been having a good run.
Caution out. We'll go back and take a look here.
He was having a good run too, and he just hit that outside wall.
That
John.
right side all torn up. He was in the, what was that, the 3rd, 5th position, something like that, hanging out inside the top 5, and there's that outside wall,
That's
second
awful.
victim of the night. No, he's got black
That
smoke
sucks.
pouring out the back of that machine as well.
He was having such a good run, John. He's up there in the 6th position.
Really nice paint scheme on that 49 tonight, too. That's a tough break. Had a really
That's
good run,
unfortunate.
really good looking car. I wanted to put on a show tonight. And that outside wall column we talked about at pre-race. It's going to have a lot of marks and dents by the end of the night.
All right, John. We saw 8 or 9 cars come down pit road last time, and I'm curious to see if they're going to stay out while the rest of the field picks. Maybe try to get some track position.
I would have to think this early in the race, it's just about time that everybody pits. As you said, those guys that stayed or pitted last time might stay out and gamble. Not a whole lot to lose here. I would imagine if you're the leader.
One guy that's really struggling, John, right now is Josh May, who started 9th. He's back in the 17th position.
And the front two
Anthony
stay
Fisher,
out.
Oh, boy.
And they get hung like sitting ducks. The whole rest of the field coming in. And if there was 2 seats you don't want to be in right now, it's the pit crew and the crew chiefs on those 87 and 34 cars. As that was not the call to make for those gentlemen tonight.
Of course, John, it is still early, only on lap 18 right now. Long night left ahead of us. They got 140 laps to go.
Certainly not the end of their
140
night.
laps to go.
But that just adds a lot of work to these guys' schedule tonight. They're going to have to battle.
I say 150 laps to go, excuse me.
But a long night now, going to get even longer for these gentlemen, as they're going to have to fight that entire pack of cars. And they're going to be coming. 4 fresh tires at Texas, especially with these cool temperatures, means a lot. And I honestly, Colin, I wouldn't be surprised if I see 1 or 2 of them duck off here and pit and go to the back just to have the 4 fresh tires. I think if you stay out and you don't get a caution, that might be where you end up anyway.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all, John. And see the race off pit road, a great race off pit road. If you can go back and look at that replay, wow. Isn't that something?
And I can do that.
Matthew
We'll use
Dunhorst just beats Nick Groth.
our pit
I
lane camera,
believe
so
over there
generously
it's
donated
97.
by my broadcast partner, Colin Fern.
Oh, thanks.
Wow, that was a 5 wide race off pit road right there.
Look at that. Great race off pit road there. And you see the 90 bringing up the rear of that little pack there. He's in the 90. He's the new guy, John Knoll, in the 7th position.
Gotta say, I raced around him last night. Good guy. Raced very clean. He didn't have the best run, but as long as your name's not being called out post-race, you're doing something right. And he seems to be doing something right tonight, keeping that car clean and looking to make his way up and get a decent finish. So Anthony Thitchner, Mark Rubin do stay out. Matthew Thunhorst 3rd. Nick Groth 5th, and Stephen Massey up to 5th. So there's your
Yeah, in 6th position, John, you got Mark Figueroa. He struggled on that run right there. I'm not sure if he had a little damage or if his tires just got bad set of tires underneath him. Back to 6th. John Knoll up to 7th, his teammate. Rob Burns up to 8th. He's 2nd in points, John, this year. 3rd on the chase grid. Luis Salmazo up to 9th. And AJ Scarborough recovering nicely after the contact. He's in 10th.
Charles Silver in 11th, Kevin Cook in 12th, Matthew Hibbs in 13th, Corey Chafin in 14th, the guy we haven't really talked about yet tonight, but he's hanging on there in 14th, number 33. Carshawn Medling, the only other guy with a win this season that's still running really for points, in 15th. Justin Bland 16th, Josh Mayu in 17th, Matthew George in 18th, a new guy Matt Moritz in 19th, and Christopher Coy, who I found out tonight was 6th in points, and a guy we haven't hardly talked about all year, but quietly having a great season. He's in 20th. I was stunned when I found that out.
He's very good at hiding. He's really shit. I can't find a good term, but for lack of a better term, he's very good at the end of the race.
He's very good at being quiet. He keeps his nose clean. He stays out of everyone else's messes, and he ends up 10th every night. And that's all you have to do to come out here and really get yourself in the chase. Get one win, and then just hang out. And I mean, he's doing the hanging out part just fine.
Unless your name's Anthony Thitchner, where you want to qualify for the chase and then keep qualifying
you want
for
to
the
lock
chase
everybody
over
else
and over
out
again.
of it? You think we can add these on and he can qualify for the next 3 years?
As a league owner, I guess it's very smart because you get to make it interesting for the fans. I mean, you get to have these guys out here, racing for points when we come down to Richmond at the end of our 26 race regular season.
Yeah, I'll talk more about that once we go green here. But the chase format, in a way, is anticlimactic with these winning you're in things. But speaking of winning, we're getting ready to go green here. The guy in the front row, Anthony Thitchner, wasn't really the pick to win every race this season. Didn't take tires on that last pit stop. The guy outside of him, Mark Rubin, didn't as well. The rest of these cars got at least 2, most of them all 4 fresh Goodyears. And John Nolan, 7th, the new guy here in that all-white number 90. We're getting ready to go green. Should be a fun one.
Here we go, John. The pace car is going to wait till the last second to make that hard left-hand turn. The Master, the restart is added again. Great restart by the 87, but the 6 also gets a great jump behind him.
And the 19 shoving that 34 car down into turn number 1.
John, I don't think it's going to be very long until the 6 overtakes the 87 for the lead.
Way up the hill. But 87
you can see those old tires, John, really paying dividends for those 6 and the 19.
Yeah, Anthony
they got past the
Thitchner,
34 and really close the gap on the 87.
Only reason he's hanging on is due to experience. I don't think that'll hang on too very long. We've said this before, though, and a guy's driven away with it, but old tires here, they're really hard to race with, especially Matthew Thunhorst is fast, and he's coming pretty quick.
Yeah, he's doing a great job, John. Matthew Thunhorst has done a great job all year long in the Cup Series, and he's coming out here in the 6th in his Missouri Tigers machine. He wants to overtake Anthony Thitchner. And Nick Roth and Jeremy Rubin scraped the outside wall. I'm not sure if that's going to be a factor.
And I think Anthony's in a bad spot now. Once he gets past for the lead, I think it's just going to be a series of him getting past. Once he loses that clean air and he has to battle with certain things, clean air fixes a lot of problems, old tires being one of them. And once Thunhorst can get his way past him, which I imagine he will.
Well, if you think about it, if Anthony can hold him off for, a good 10, 15 lap run, maybe the tires will even out.
They don't have a big wear shelf here at Texas.
And here comes Matthew Thunhorst, his number 6 machine. Anthony Thitchner not going to put up much of a fight on the inside. Matthew Thunhorst going to stick it right on that white line all the way around through 3 and 4, and we have a new leader. Put the 6 car up to the top of the charts.
Matthew Thunhorst, 2-year lead here. The number 6 Mizzou Tigers machine had a great run last week at Vegas. Looking to duplicate that tonight and get a better finish. Got caught up late last week in some trouble. Looking to do a little better tonight. Oh, and Groth loose again off the corner. Fishtailing all the way down to that second groove. But he'll hold on to it. Look at Jeremy Rubin holding his own back there in 4th.
Oh, yeah. And look at John Knoll up to 5th, the new guy in the 90.
I think he's going to be one to look out for. He had a good run last night. He's a very talented driver. Gets a good setup under him. He could be one to watch week to week here in ECR.
Absolutely, John. And look at that Hornet's Nest from third on back, 3rd all the way back to 13th, all within 13 car lengths of each other.
It is a tight race back there for that, as you mentioned, about 5th through 15th, all over each other's bumpers. Single file, but at Texas, single file can be a little risky with the lift points and the braking. So single file here does not mean safe. We saw it earlier. Perfectly single file and took out 3 race cars. So keep an eye on that. Up in your lead, Matthew Thunhorst pulling away from Anthony just a little bit, but Anthony's pulling away from everybody else. 7/10 for that old tire number 87. Not doing too bad.
I think if Anthony can stay within, a second of Thunhorst, these tires even out. Oh, John Knoll gets loose. What a save by the 90. Wow.
See, a lot of guys getting loose tonight. We fought tight last night in the Xfinity Series race. Tonight, loose might be the diagnosis.
Well, John, I think the thing is that if you hit the apron like these guys are, the rear end's gonna kick out. It's physics. Don't ask me. I don't know physics. I'm not the brightest guy in the world. It's physics, so I know it. And when you hit the apron, the rear end's gonna kick out, and that's gonna get you loose. But if you don't get it low enough, the front end's just gonna not bite at all, and you're gonna go out there and hit the outside wall. So it's really, these guys really have to find a happy medium.
And with the rule changes this year, with that less downforce in the back end, it makes this car just a little bit more free. When we come to these tracks like Texas, Atlanta is one that we've been to already, where they're historically very loose racetracks, and you take downforce out of the car, that certainly doesn't help. And when we do have a really, really cool temperatures, this is supposed to be a night race. iRacing does not offer the night lighting here in Texas, so the temperature is set up based on a night race. So we do have the, like I said, 70-degree track temp is very cool, which is helping. If we were racing this under full sun and this was a sun-baked asphalt, we'd be out here for a nightmare kind of ride. Getting lucky this week and coming in here nice and cool and calm, and come the fall, I don't think we'll have that.
No, John, I don't think we will, considering that is a very, much like the Cup Series race in Texas last year, always heated discussions, I guess you could say. I guess that's what you could call that at the end of the last year's Texas race, discussions. Discussions
would be the word that NASCAR would like to use, I'm sure.
John Knoll making the pass for 4th place.
Yeah, John Knoll's having a good run in that 90s. He's very consistent. He's hitting his marks very well, and see Stephen Massey looking to take advantage. He's car on the inside wall. I think that's Charles Silver.
The yellow flag is out.
Or no, Matthew Hibbs.
No, Charles
Matthew
Silver.
Hibbs in the 10, flipping down the track.
Oh, wow.
What a smash for him into that inside wall. Can I go back and take a look here?
Oh,
I didn't see any problems.
And how about Chris Sarkoy getting through that?
All by himself here. Might have our 3rd victim of that outside wall.
No,
he just lost it.
He just got loose, John. Yeah.
What a shot.
He didn't lift out of it. I think all you had to do is lift out of it. I think he would have been all right.
Yeah, that was a ride there. We're going to go on board, take a peek through his cockpit camera, or his roll bar camera, excuse me here, at just what it looks like to flip at 180 miles an hour. But yeah, he just snapped loose in the middle of the racetrack there. Yeah, he never lifted. Stayed in it until the last possible second, and then got yourself a wild ride from there. Great job, as you mentioned, Chris Sarkoy getting through that. One of the reasons he's 6th in points is he's just dodging other people's mistakes. Good example.
He's going to be up there, and basically, John, the top. If you're inside the top 20 at this point, if you're on the lead lap, you're inside the top 20. As I'm sure we'll see a lot of leaders come down pit road here.
And Anthony Thitchner.
And we do.
And Jeremy Rubin. What a break for them. Really.
And we got one guy staying out. I think it's Kevin Cook in the 45, who's done a great job so far.
Kevin Cook maybe going for the bonus point. Maybe actually looking to get some track position here. We only ran about 14 laps on that set of tires, so certainly not a bad time to play gamble.
Maybe him and his team saw that Anthony Thitchner and Jeremy Rubin were able to succeed.
Yeah, Jeremy. I mean, Anthony Thitchner's kind of an alien case there because he's a talent, but Jeremy Rubin really held station. I mean, he only dropped to 7th, I think.
Here comes the race off pit road, John.
Going to be Matthew Thunhorst, Anthony Thitchner. The 90 of John Knoll gets out.
Look at that.
And then a mess of cars behind him. Very nice paint schemes.
I like looking at that.
I got to say, these paint schemes get better and better every week. A very colorful, fun to watch field.
Yeah, John, my favorite paint scheme, I think, right now, if you take a look at the 50 of Matthew George, is a beautiful Under Armour real tree,
That is a very
orange
nice
and black
paint
and
scheme.
camo car. That's gorgeous.
One of the perks of virtual racing is the ability to pretty much flip your paint scheme on a dime. That's why Colin and I talk about it so much. There are so many good paint schemes out there on sites like Trading Paints and guys that make them in-house and stuff like that, that you really got to take time and appreciate, what these guys can do. Really an art to make these paint schemes. And I know we talk about it week in, week out, but really part of the fun of iRacing is the fun paint schemes you see.
And John, Kevin Cook came down pit road here.
Yeah, not a
He
bad
led
move, I
that
don't
one
think.
bonus point.
He was far back in the field. I think he was running somewhere between the 15th and 20th position. So he's not losing any ground. He picks up the bonus point and can go ahead and throw 4 fresh good years on a really good call, I think, for the 45 there.
And how about John Knoll, John, in the 3rd position?
What a run for our new guy tonight. Really, I mean, 2 of our new guys doing really well. John Knoll, Jeremy Rubin. The other guys keeping their nose clean.
Yep.
We haven't called their name, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
Doing a great job. John Knoll doing a great job. Stephen Massey doing a great job, as well as Sean Medling up to 11th. He's
Good
the
bounce
biggest
back
mover
for
so
him.
far. He's up to 12. He's gained 12 positions. Justin Bland's gained 8 positions. He's in the 13th position. Position.
Lots of positions out there tonight at Texas. Got a lot of comers and goers. Maybe not so much for the lead as you know, these guys seem to get a stranglehold on it every week. But in the middle of the pack, a lot of comers and goers at Texas. It's a track that's synonymous with guys kind of bouncing back. We saw the Xfinity race in real life with Eric Jones kind of coming out of nowhere and getting the win there. And I mean, it's
Absolutely.
a big track for comers and goers. And I think these guys, you know, like I said, minus our 2 leaders right now, are really kind of bouncing all over the place. AJ Scarborough coming back, though. He's back up in the 6th spot. After that contact, I believe, with the 0-0 of Mark Figueroa earlier in the race.
Yeah, he's doing a good job recovering, John. I know that's definitely something he did not want to happen early on, but regardless, it did happen, and he's doing a great job recovering. He's back up there in the 6th position.
I have to feel for AJ because he's had some really tough breaks. Going back to Phoenix, he got pretty much dumped in the turn 1 by a guy that's no longer in the league, and due to a post-race outburst, got suspended from that. Really nothing he could do there. And then he's had some bad run-ins recently. He just seems to get caught again in other people's mistakes, and it's a tough break. I feel for him. I mean, right there with the 0-0, nothing he could do. Right up into the wall.
Absolutely, John. He's really struggling recently, but he recovered nicely at Vegas last week. He had a 4th place finish. His first finish inside the top 15 all year long. He's only led 3 laps. He has 1 pole at Phoenix, and he's finished 4th last week. He did a good job. Hopefully, he can continue that momentum.
Yeah, I look for him to go out there and get himself a win before long. He's been up front pretty much every race all year, and I think it's only a matter of time. But getting ready to duck the pace car back to pit road. Your front row, Matthew Thunhorst, Anthony Pitcher, and John Knoll around that. Your top 3 up there in that all-white number 90, looking for a good finish.
Here we go, John Matthew Thunhorst, the leader. He's going to take the inside, and a great restart. John Knoll right behind him. I've
So
seen
we
3rd place
salvaged them,
be able
not-
to get the restarts.
Get a good restart there. Not sure what happened. 2x2 up front. Looks like John Knoll clears Anthony Pitcher in a 2nd pace. That number 90 is on a rail tonight.
How about the noobs in this league, John? We can just go out and find somebody new with no
Just run a
racing
new field
experience.
every
They might
week.
They might be very good. These guys are running very well. Nick Groth there. He's going to try and make a move for 4th place. He gets tail whips. What a save! Wow.
Look at that, almost
Nick Groth
3
did a nice
wide.
job
Army,
saving that.
Navy. Oh, in contact.
Jeremy Rubin, and I can't see who else that is.
Oh,
Stephen
and he
Massey,
comes
I
back
believe.
up, and he's going to get Justin Bland, Charles Silver in it as well.
Matthew George, everybody.
And Josh
Oh,
Mayu
no.
collects a piece of it. Back down the track, they're going
Oh,
to catch
my.
somebody else in that as well. I don't know. I believe that's the 97 coming back down the track. Tough break for the
Wow.
young guns. I think 2 or 3 of them got
The
caught in that
97,
wreck.
the 97, John, just got loose in the tri-oval.
What
And
a
half
heartbreak.
the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 cars, my count, John.
And the 90, it looks like when Nick Groth wiggled. Excuse me, am I too far back here? No, the 90 goes high and he tries to turn in and just
97
snaps loose.
just-
Or the 97,
it just-
excuse me. Up it
yeah.
hard into that 65 car. Bland. The 50 catches a big piece of it. Looks like the 87 might have got some. Charles Silver's all tore up. And poor Jeremy Rubin, what a great run he was having. Nothing any of those guys could do there.
Yeah, that's just... And I hate that Charles Silver got in that, John. Really
go back
nothing he
here.
could do at all.
We're going to
And
take
he
a ride.
was through it. Charles Silver and Josh Mayu were both through it.
Going to hop on board here with the 65. You can see he's clear of the wreck until he's not. I mean, they're down there on the apron. Nothing he can really do. He's holding his line. He's out of the throttle. It's just one of those situations where your spotters, door bumper
John-
clear, we're in it. And
John, we mentioned these guys were having a very clean race and were very stable. And
You know, it
all of a
seems that
sudden,
almost
half the field's gone.
all season long we've seen the most wrecks happen when guys are comfortable. And right there was another case where guys are just comfortable. But speaking of comfortable, we're going to get comfortable here for a second. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll catch you guys back here in just a quick 60 seconds. We thank you for your support as always here on MOTV and ECR, and we'll be back after this quick break. Alrighty guys, welcome back here. MOTV presenting ECR Racing here tonight, week 7 at Texas. Had our first, I guess you can call it the big one of the night when Stephen Massey got turned around, caught on his way back down. The 34, the new guy, Jeremy Rubin, and then it was just on from there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if these guys realize, but there's 128 laps left, and
it's a tough break to see this many cars tore up. Speaking of tore up, Nick Olson, one of our consistent viewers here, asking to get a check on the 7. Nick, there's your 7 car. Not looking good, sir. I do apologize for what you're seeing on your screen. That front end all tore up. I believe he has engine damage, also some black smoke coming out. Might have to do a full engine swap on the 7 car, not the night he was looking for after qualifying up in the front of the field. And again, you mentioned it, Colin, there's so many laps to go.
yeah.
Not much. I mean, that's not really a deal that's bred by racing too hard or too fast. Or that's just a mental mistake there by Stephen Massey. Just got up too high, turned too quick, and these cars, they do not hold like they used to.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but these guys, they're in cup cars for a reason. They know how to drive it, and like you said, it's just a mental mistake. Nothing he could do there, and clearly nothing the 7, the 65, or anybody else could do.
The problem with the wreck there, and we saw it from the 65 when we went on board with them, was, and speaking of a mistake here, the 6 takes the outside lane. That's curious. But we went on board with the 65, and they were down on the apron at the wall wrecking, and I mean, you think you're clear at that point, and then by the time you get there, you sit in the middle of the track, and really nothing he could do or anyone else. Charles Silver got caught in it, so tough break. But the 6 takes the outside lane. That puts your new guy, John Knoll, on the bottom, Anthony Titchener 3rd, Nick Groff in 4th.
And I'm wondering, John, if maybe it's a little bit of defense there on the 6's part. Perhaps maybe not wanting Anthony Titchener to get as bad as restart as he wanted to, or if you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
he might, thinking that John Knoll's obviously not going to get a better restart than the leader, and Matthews should be able to clear to the bottom by turn 1. So, his real competition up front is at 87, although the 90's hanging out there. So,
only 15 cars left on the lead lap, John. Only 15 cars on track. So, we're going to get here going. Pace cars make that hard left turn. Matthew Thornhurst gets a great restart on the outside lane. Nick Groth and Anthony Fisher just no place to go.
And Anthony's hung way back there in that inside lane. AJ Scarborough to his bumper, the 00 working back on the outside. Haven't called his number. Look at Luis Salmazo up there in the 7th position.
And Luis, perhaps my favorite driver in the league. I always like to see Luis do well, and he's up there in the 7th position doing a great job in his number 9 machine, filling in for Nick Giles.
He's just a good guy to be around. He's got such a great, fun-loving personality, and when someone like that does well, it's hard not to like it. Anthony Titchener, though, looking to make moves here. He's charging on the outside.
Matthew Thunhorse has to love it. He's seen his rearview mirror contact between the 87 and the 90.
Pushing just a little bit. The 87 returning the favor with the pinch.
Wow, Anthony Titchener, side drafting, I guess you could say, down the back stretch.
Nick Groth trying his best to keep both these guys behind him.
Battle, and Matthew Thunhorse has to be loving this, John.
Yeah, he's cruising away right now, watching 3 wide in his mirror. Never complains as a leader when they're racing 3 wide. Right now, Anthony's got to be getting frustrated, though. He's faster than both these guys, and by being too wide, they're essentially setting a pick. Now they're going to settle out. But he's got to get going if he wants to keep in touch with that leader.
Luckily, John does have plenty of time to do so. We have just under 120 laps left. Excuse me, not quite 120 laps left. And John Knoll gets into the back of the 19 a little bit.
Tight
and
racing.
He's going to look underneath the 19. 19's getting a little tail whip. Anthony Fisher wants by the 90.
And Anthony just wants to get clear right now.
I think he has the fastest car on track, John. He certainly
can't
find the right place to pass.
He's certainly faster than the two in front of him. He's been all over their bumpers. Now he's actually going to get up on the bumper at the 90. And I think the 90 is going to let him go, realizing too early in the race that he messing with a car that quick. Going to go ahead and pull out of his way here, let him go.
I think that's smart. Not only is Nick Groff holding up, I mean, the field, there's nothing he can do. I mean, he's holding his line. He's just trying to race his own race. But when you got guys faster than that, you can just see the train of cars behind him.
And we mentioned Anthony's not a guy that's going to wreck you, and he's certainly not a guy that's going to do it intentionally. But when he's that much faster, sometimes you can't help it. I mean, you just get runs in places that you shouldn't be getting that big of a run, and you really don't want to risk getting your night ended that soon. So a good move to pull over. Again, Anthony, not a guy that's going to wreck you, certainly, but Texas is one of those tracks where you get a big enough run in the middle of the corner, and there's almost nothing you can do about it.
And I do want to give a nice shout out, John, to Corey Chafin, and he's running 11th right now. His number 33 Kellogg's machine. He finished, I believe, 4th last night in the ECR Xfinity Series race. Did a great job, and he's doing a great job tonight in 11th. Then we got wrecking down the backstretch. John Knoll in the 90.
Oh, John Knoll.
Anthony Fisher in the 87 involved. Oh my.
No caution out for the 90. He is parked off the racing surface, and he is back in pit road, so we are going to go caution-free.
John
Now
Knoll.
a caution out.
What happened there?
Let me go back and take a look here.
The 87 got into the back of the 19, and the 90 got loose behind him.
And it's one of those things we mentioned where you don't mean to turn somebody, but when you're going that
Anthony
fast.
Fisher's fine, John.
Anthony's
didn't
fine.
Get any damage.
And Anthony certainly didn't wreck the 90 either. 90 just kind of wiggles trying to avoid there.
And that just goes back to the 19 not getting out of the way, per se. Nothing he can do. I mean, you can't just let people by, obviously. But 87 just got in the back of him, and Curly had just no place to go.
You're certainly not going to roll over.
To check out.
You're never going to roll over. It's called racing for a reason, but at that point, when there's a car that quick, again, that could have ended very badly for Nick Groff, and unfortunately, it ended badly for the 90.
John Knoll.
Yeah, John Knoll. Tough.
Let's see if we can get a word here, John, with our in-race report at 87 of Anthony Fisher. Anthony Fisher, you got a copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
What happened there?
I was hoping you could tell me, man. It looked like the cars in front of us were racing hard there. I was trying to get by them because the leader was getting away, and it just felt like they were holding us up. It all happened so fast. I really don't know. I'm just waiting to hear about it.
That is, John, I don't know if you can back me up on this. It looks exactly like that from here.
Yeah, I think we described it just about the same way. I know going forward, you got a little bit, it looks like front end damage. Is that going to play a part in the pit strategy? What's the pit strategy here to the end? You got just over 100 laps to go.
Yeah, we just want to try to keep it near the front, obviously, and try to keep it clean. So whatever damage we have right here, which pulling in now, we're going to try to take care of, and that'll be 2.9 optional, so it's not much, shouldn't affect us that bad. Just take it easy here and try to keep it clean there at the end. I'm trying to let guys know that, we got to be there at the end.
And as a league owner, I mean, these guys, we mentioned they look comfortable. They're racing fairly comfortable, but they're not comfortable. They keep wrecking. Is there any sort of track conditions that's really causing the problems that you see on track?
I think guys aren't backing it up enough maybe, so they're getting tight in, and then when they go to give it gas, it's just coming around on them, so they're getting loose. Got a lot of guys self-spinning tonight, so hopefully they'll just get a hang of it, and we'll get some nice green runs here and be able to get a better feel of these cars, because right now it's just trying to make it through these things and have a nice run here.
Absolutely, man. Well, currently I believe you're going to come out in the 6th position. If you can hopefully control that and try to get back up to the front and in your very ugly number 87 Jim Beam something else machine.
Hey, Dallas Cowboys, man. I appreciate it. Hey, I'm having fun with it, man, as always. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, and have fun up there.
Thank you.
And that was, as Colin put it, the driver of the number 87, Jim Beam, and something else, Chevy SS there in that Dallas Cowboys machine. A little bit of front end damage showing for me on that 87
Carroll, John,
still.
Chuck Carroll was involved in that first wreck, and
He's in the lead. That scares me, Colin, because I'm looking at that race car, and it got that
like
Luis
he just went to
Salmazo at Martinsville
for
look.
1,000 laps.
It's got every
wow.
corner of that car beat in. But
I
it's
mean,
Chuck Harrell.
he's leading laps.
He can
he's
hang up
leading
front.
laps. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, bonus points.
He's struggling so far this season. I mean, he's 17th in points. He's tied for the chase for being in that last spot, but he loses the tiebreaker based on top 10s. But so he's basically not in the chase yet. He's really has to do something.
Yeah, I mean, bonus points never hurt. If you're going to get them, this is the time of the race we mentioned earlier. We're still very early on, 117 to go at the line, so still a long way to go. Maybe he pits here. I don't know. I would think maybe he would. I don't think that car can hold track position with the old tires and the beat-up corners on it. Yeah, he is going to pull off here and pit. So is that Anthony Thitchner coming back in? No, he's going to stay out. He was just stuck to the apron there.
So the way it's looking for race control here, I believe. Actually,
Anthony's going to get the EOL. Looks like Nick Groth and Anthony Thitchner going to the back.
I'm wondering if we can get a word with our race control here and see if he can explain what his ruling was there, per se. I don't see him in team speed. There he is. There he is. I got him. Hey, Nick, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
And we were just hoping that here at MOTV you could give us an explanation of. We see 3 guys were given the EO. Whether if you can explain that for our viewers at home.
Well, it's mainly just an inability to decipher who was the true cause of the caution. It just appeared that Groth, while he was holding him up a little bit, it appeared that Anthony might have made a little bit of contact and that got him a little loose. He lost momentum, and then the 90 ended up just spinning out of nowhere, and that's where the caution came out from.
Absolutely, man. Well, I appreciate the ruling and appreciate the explanation. Have fun. Well, probably not the last time we'll talk to you tonight.
That was your race controller, who is normally the number 9 in Nick Giles, tonight just being the race controller, Nick Giles. So we're getting ready to go back green here. Pace car's off. Matthew Thunhorse, your leader.
Thunhorse is gone.
And AJ Scarborough.
What happened? I don't think he was ready for that.
Second or third battery restart of the night there for that 5 machine. And that's stacked up, but it's getting
for some reason, John, we get
line.
Luis, our favorite driver out there. Luis Salmazo up in the 5th position, Sean Medling 6th, and Kevin Cook in the 7th position.
And Luis hopping in that 9 machine tonight for Nick and doing him proud with the owner's points, getting up there really well up into the top 5. Good run for Luis.
And Anthony Fisher now, John, he has his work cut out for him. He's back in the 13th position, second to last car on the lead lap, and he's really going to have to work hard to get back up to the front.
Nick Groth as well, guy that's been up there
flag.
towards the front. So an interesting decision, a controversial one, as always here on ECR. We tend to, I mean, it's difficult, honestly, to call these cautions.
What he said, John, is he said that the point of ECR is what they do is to make it easy on the race controllers, and for that to happen, the drivers have to help, as Nick said, decipher who the cause of the caution was. Clearly, those 3 couldn't decide, and therefore, in the ECR rulebook, it's stated that if nobody can decide who the cause of the caution was, all the drivers involved will receive an EOL.
And I mean, that's a good
ruling
ruling there.
Because if the 19 and the 87, or perhaps the 90, I doubt he's going to get back on track. But if any of those guys cause another yellow flag, they're out for the race.
Yeah, remember, it goes by EOLs here, not exactly the cause of the caution. So all those guys are marked with EOL. If any of them have an issue the rest of the night, they're parked. And coming through the field like Anthony and Nick do, it's certainly not easy to do without maybe getting a little bump and run on somebody. And certainly by no means by meaning to call out race control. They do a great job week to week, and it's a very stressful position to be in because you essentially hold the fate of these guys. I mean, they work all week, and especially towards the end of the race, these calls get so difficult to make. So the right call there for sure. A controversial one, I'm sure, in the minds of Anthony and Nick. I don't feel like they think they probably did anything wrong, but we saw the replays and the contact and what eventually caused the 90 spin. So a good explanation by Nick and an overall good call. Anthony up into the top 10 in that 10th position, setting his sights on Corey Chapin. Looks like Christopher Coy getting out of the way.
Yeah, I was just going to say there, John, Christopher Coy, you mentioned him 6th in points. He's in 11th position right now. He's doing a great job.
And for reasons like what he just did there. I mean, he knows who the leaders have been all night. He knows they've been Anthony Fisher and Nick Groff. Saw him coming behind him, pulled high, let him go like he was a lap car, and he lives to fight another day.
It's just awareness, John.
Yeah, it's what we call racecraft. I mean, just getting out of the way of the faster cars from that far back.
I wasn't
in the pack.
that word the night last night.
Yeah, racecraft always a big word. When you're and Corey Chafin pushing a little bit, but always a big word here on iRacing. And Chris Sircoy, 6th in points, I think, mainly because of his racecraft.
He's doing a great job, John. Definitely, he's being able to give and take, and I'm pretty sure, hopefully, these guys are really taking notice that he's doing a good job of that.
I think when he gets into that top 5 in points and he's there come chase time, I think they'll have to take notice because we don't call his name. I mean, ever. Like I don't think we've called it maybe twice this whole season, and he's 6th in points. That's why I was so shocked. He's just putting together solid finishes and staying out of trouble. And that's half the battle, especially in virtual racing, where I mean, you're not out there with professionals per se, and there's sometimes incidents that would normally happen and aren't really predictable. Like we
Charles
saw
Silver here, John, about to go 11 laps down. He's currently in the 17th position. Excuse me, he's going to go 16 laps down in the 18th position.
So a tough night for that 7. It's like American flag car there, Charles Silver. Not what you want, as he's looking like he's about to get lapped again. Leader's already passed him. There goes AJ. Another call I want to give really quick. The number 16 car, Matt Moritz, another new guy here to the league. He's up into the top 10 in 8th position right now, getting ready to get past, I believe, probably the 1987, but a good, solid run for him as well.
I see the 19 got by the 87 there. I didn't see the pass happen, but definitely 19 really making noise out there. He's going to make a pass on the outside.
Going to try to make a pass. Outside lane, not where you want to be getting it done, and Anthony Thitchner might look 3 wide. Bottom in there, wrecking!
Oh, Nick Groff.
Oh, and Anthony Thitchner hard on the inside wall.
Oh, wow.
Corey Chafin's going to hold on to it. What? Wow.
What happened to Anthony?
Talk about unpredictable wrecks.
What happened to Anthony?
Go back and take a look. I think he just got loose, maybe overreacted.
I think it was netcode, perhaps?
Maybe netcode, or he... Looks like he got netcoded with a 33 as well. That was one of the oddest looking wrecks I've seen in a very long time. We're going to go on board with him and see if he jerks the wheel. See if we can find a cockpit view here. See if he jerks the wheel. Yeah, it looks like either netcode or an overreaction. Maybe more on the side of netcode. Let's go on board with the 33.
Well, perhaps, John, we're not going to have back-to-back winners this week.
No, Anthony Thitchner's all but done. We're going to go on board with the 33 and see if he gets hit by the 87. Yeah, he gets hit by the 87, and the 87's nowhere close to him. So I think the 87 may be involved in some netcode, which is when a car isn't quite where iRacing says it is. But yeah, I mean, you can see this replay here is going to show the 37's nowhere near him and gets damaged. So awful break for the 16 and a worse break for Anthony. Just as I give a call to Matt Moritz, I don't know. We're going to go back and take a look at the actual wreck here and see if the 19 comes up.
I think race control is saying the 16 went up. I'm not sure. I didn't see it happen. Yeah, I think the 16 is what he's saying.
Yeah, it looks like by the way the 16's turn, the 16 comes up a little bit. Just a misjudgment there, and that's, you know, a new guy to the league and doesn't quite know who he's racing around. A little misjudgment on the line and an awful break. Yeah,
definitely, John. That's really unfortunate on his part. But Matthew Thunhorse continues to lead, John.
Yeah, speaking of the guys that are in the lead, Matthew Thunhorse seems to be one of those situations where the leader doesn't get any credit. He's still out front. Was a gap at him, almost 3 seconds there during that run. So certainly with Anthony taken out, Nick Groth with some damage. I mean, Rob Burns is up in 3rd. Another shake of the field tonight.
Well, I believe, is that our 5th or 6th caution there, John?
That is showing as our 6th caution for just over 20 laps.
That is, that's not going to go over too well after this night.
No, that's not good. We talked about early on how calm it was and coming off Martinsville 2 weeks ago and still trying to get that bad taste out of your mouth. And then I pray we're not in for another night like that tonight. I think we're going to dwindle the field down enough here, though. Eventually we won't have enough cars to wreck, but a tough break so far early on here, and certainly the field much smaller than it was when we started.
I want to give a call to Josh Mayu in the 61, John. Got involved in that wreck, the big wreck. Major damage to his machine, and he's in the 11th position.
He's hanging on really well to that 61 car. He got some bad damage. The whole left front of that car crumpled in that wreck, but he's hanging on, like you said, pretty well in 11th. Matt Moritz also coming out of that wreck. He's okay. He's back out on the track, no laps down. Nick Groth, no laps down. So Anthony Thitcher, the only one in the last wreck that's taken out. Yeah, a lot of these guys that have been in incidents.
I'm gonna let's see if we can get another word with our in-race reporter, John. Hey, Anthony, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what happened that time?
Same thing, man. Guys just real slow. Thinking they're fast on the bottom line. They said they were getting tight, but they were trying to run the fast lane, and they seen guys coming up behind them. They didn't know what to do. So again, it's just the fact we got guys up here not knowing what to do in those certain scenarios. Again, guys getting tight, trying to run in the fast lane. I take it as a block. You know, if we're coming up on guys and they're trying to run that fast lane, we're trying to get around them, trying to take our time. It's real early in the run. There should be a lot more give and take than what's going on out there, but it is what it is. We got about 40 minutes left here required, so my night's pretty much over. We'll be helping out Nick here for the rest of the race.
I wanted to ask you, too, boss, while we got you here. We saw that wreck was an odd-looking wreck. Was there a little bit of net code involved there? Because you weren't close to any car that looked like you bounced off of there.
I think I just overturned it, man, trying to avoid that. You know, I seen it right there in the corner of my screen. So I tried to get down low there, and it was just wrong timing because at the moment that I turned to get low, just got real loose under me there and just put it right in the wall. So just trying to avoid all that. I didn't think it was going to happen. I thought we were going to be able to get around them, but yeah, it's a tough break, man.
Well, to be fair, I believe you're still probably going to leave here the points leader, and I'm sure it probably won't be the last time we talk to you tonight.
Yeah, man, we'll have fun sitting here watching it, and I'm sure it'll make for a good show here. We got about 13 guys here on the lead lap, so there's still a lot left going on here. They're about to go green.
And you mentioned that green flag is out. Matthew Tunnels with another great restart. And AJ Scarborough, John, really struggling on the outside line.
Yeah, he hasn't had a good restart all night long. I don't know what's going on behind that wheel of that 5 car, but he is not up on the gas when these restarts go back, and he's going to lose a spot there back to the 4th position behind Mark. And him and Mark have not gotten along tonight.
It's one of those incidents, John, where you can't get away from somebody. You and I know very well that it's just frustrating when you're running around the same car over and over.
And earlier in the race, Mark gave him a good door shot up into the wall, and since then, he's been attached to his bumper. He hasn't been able to get around him. So probably sick of looking at that National Guard scheme and looking for some room, but certainly Mark not making it easy on him.
Absolutely, John. And Ron Burns, how about him running second right now? He's second in points coming in here. And he's only 17 points out of the points lead. He could very well leave the points leader tonight, John.
And he's another guy. We've interviewed him a few times, and we've talked about him, but not a guy that we pick week to week to be a favorite. And he's second in points. I mean, not locked in the chase because it's the win you're in format, but certainly a good showing early on in the season.
Absolutely, John. As this time by, we're going to have 100 laps remaining. It feels like a marathon so far. Not as bad as Martinsville, but definitely something. I mean, we're averaging like 10 lap runs, and Matthew Tunner and the caution.
Motive Jinx caution on the racetrack. Not sure where.
On the backstretch once again, and I believe that was the 19 of Nick Groth.
So Nick Groth's night.
No, it wasn't. I don't think so. It wasn't. Was it?
I'm not seeing anybody that doesn't have damage, or that didn't have damage that has damage. Was it the 16 again?
I don't think so.
No,
they're
it wasn't
saying,
the
Race
16.
Control saying it's 0-1.
Wayne Willard, maybe.
Wayne Willard, and it is. Yes, it is. And he is retired for the night, John.
I can't even see him on track at any point during this run here.
And the 16 also involved there, John.
Apologize for the jumpy camera, folks. I don't see the 0-1 on track. Colin, do you want to give me a play-by-play of what happened?
Essentially, John, he just got loose off turn 2, and he came down, hit the inside wall, came back up, and took the 16 of Matt Moritz out.
Yeah,
just a very unfortunate set of circumstances there.
Another tough break. We just gave Matt Moritz a call as being a good runner, and now he's caught up in 2 wrecks. Apologies, I didn't get a shot there. I jumped back almost 4 minutes and didn't see Wayne Willard on track at any point. So maybe.
So I'm wondering if we should just stop talking about people, John.
Yeah, we should probably just stop talking altogether.
Can we just
I think
stop
the folks at
analyzing the
home
race,
would
just show
stop,
cameras?
would like it a lot better if we both just stopped talking.
I'm sure.
Just leave it on TV too and let the race play out.
Yeah, and we can, I can go get ice cream or something.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
It's probably look better for these drivers out here. As we got 12 guys on the lead lap, John. Currently, Matthew Thunhorse is still dominating the event tonight. He's in the Missouri Tigers machine. He's number 6, and then right behind him, the X sign of the 12, Exxon car, number 12, Rob Burns, Mark Figueroa 3rd, AJ Scarborough 4th, Kevin Cook 5th, and John, I'll let you take it from there because I know you like number 6.
And as we've mentioned all night long, our favorite driver, one of the funnest guys to be around, Luis Salmazo, bringing up that 6th position. Chuck Harrell rebounding very nicely after some early wrecks. The MR88 car in 7th. Corey Chafin's kept his nose clean. He's in the 8th position. Christopher Coy, surprise of the season so far, is in 9th. And then Sean Medlin, the only other driver still running for points with a win this season, was in 10th. Looks like he's dropping a little bit now. So that moves Josh Mayu into the 10th position. Actually showing Sean Medlin somewhere on the track.
Sean Medlin is 10th, I believe. Nick Groth would be 11th, and Josh May will round out the rest of the lead lap cars in the 12th position. And George Price, John, got involved in that first wreck, went 6 laps down, and he's about to be back on the lead lap once again.
What a break for George Price. That is one of those things that Luis had happen at Martinsville.
Yeah, right?
Not over till it's over.
Wow. Well, John, it's been a long night, almost an hour into the event so far.
And we're not quite halfway. We talk about it every week after the race, folks, stuff you don't get to hear, but we keep trying to break. Our longest broadcast of the season was Daytona. We almost got it. Was it Martinsville, or was it last week?
I think Martinsville.
We missed it by like 21 seconds. So tonight might be a contender. We might have a contender tonight for the longest broadcast. We're already 7 cautions in. Like Colin said, we're not even averaging. We're averaging just under 10 lap runs right now. So we're hoping to keep the pace going a little bit faster than what it's going right now, and hopefully get you guys a good green flag run and get a good finish out of this one.
Yeah, absolutely, John. It's definitely going to be looking for something. These guys really need to work hard. I know Matthew Thunhorse, I know he's probably not enjoying this, but he's definitely not going to complain as he's all but dominated tonight.
And these are all free positions, or points led as well. Laps led, excuse me, for Matthew Thunhorse, not points led. Laps led for the bonus point for most laps led is what I was trying to articulate there. But we're getting ready to go back green. Top 5, Matthew Thunhorse, 12 of Rob Burns, 00 Mark Figueroa, the 5 of AJ Scarborough hanging on, and they're actually showing a little bit of left front on the front of the number 5 machine, and the 45 of Kevin Cook. Your front 2 rows here.
Luis Salmazo. There we go. I said it right. If anybody here, Luis fan, Luis Salmazo. There we go.
I think everyone's a Luis fan.
He's in 6th. Chuck Carroll 7th. Corey Chafin 8th. Christopher Coy 9th. Sean Medling 10th. Josh Mayu and Nick Groth round out the lead lap cars. We had 24 start the race, John, and we have 12 left on the lead lap. Not quite halfway here, and this thing, we're not even close to done yet, so definitely a lot of stuff could happen here.
Go get another bag of popcorn, kick back, and watch what hopefully becomes a long green flag run. I hate to make the call so soon, but Matthew Thunhorse looks to be the car to run away with it Aaron Berge style. Yes, it's still Aaron Berge style until Anthony wins 3 in a row.
Stop talking about people.
Okay, yeah, not Matthew Thunhorse.
No
we're green.
more analyzing the race.
And he's gone. Yeah, I'm going to give him a call, and he's going to blow right front.
Car passes left.
That's all we can say
names.
from now on. No names, no numbers, no paint schemes. Hopefully going to be a long green flag run.
For the benefit of the drivers.
Corey Chafin and the 12 are the cars that are stuck out high. Rob Burns dropping all the way back, going to be into the 5th position as Kevin Cook gets under him. Sean Medling wants to go.
Second place is really just not the place to be right now on the restart.
It never is a mile and a
half.
half.
Struggling.
Mile and a half's are rough to be on the outside. Turn 1, you're pretty much full throttle all the way through with the new rules package, so it's rough because just you don't have the shortest way around. As Mark Figueroa is going to find himself in that outside lane. AJ Scarborough finally going to clear him to second.
I think, John, AJ Scarborough could definitely if anyone's going to challenge Matthew Thunhorse, I think it's going to be him and Kevin Cook.
Yeah, as I was saying when we went green there, Matthew Thunhorse has essentially by process of elimination become the front runner. I mean, all the other drivers we had picked tonight that were having good runs are all but tore up in the garage, and AJ Scarborough, the only one left on track that had a decent qualifying and practice run, And he's catching them right now. The 6 out front and the 5 closing quickly.
Yeah, John, he's doing a great job. And how about Kevin Cook? He's gained 21 positions from where he started, back in the 24th position, last car in the field tonight. And he's running third right now, doing a great job right now.
Kevin Cook's another driver, consistently consistent. He's always just kind of knocking on the door of the top 3, top 5. He's kind of always hanging out. He's never really in the lead or dominating, but he's always right there. And eventually, I think that's going to turn into a win for him.
Yeah, absolutely, John. Kevin Cook did a great job last night. He had a fast race and had a fast race car and just really struggled at the end. But so far, he struggled the last 2 weeks, but his average finish on an intermediate track this season is 6th, so he's hoping to continue that success on these 1.5-mile cookie cutters.
And with the way the trends have been going, I hate to use the word trends because we're only on race 7, but the way the trends have been going on mile and a half, they've really been caution fests, and a lot of the top guys get taken out. So if Kevin Cook can hang out, I mean, in the 3rd, 4th, 5th position, eventually the guys in front of him are going to wreck, and he's going to luck his way into a victory if he doesn't skill his way into one. So you mentioned average finish of 6th. He's up in 3rd tonight. Been looking to better that and keep his run at the chase going.
Yeah, absolutely, John. He's doing a great job. Hopefully trying to succeed. I mean, he's 3rd in points right now. He's doing a good job. This whole season he's been doing a great job. Obviously, he's only finished outside the top 10 the last 2 weeks. Both races got taken out. Obviously, Martinsville, and then last week at Las Vegas got taken out. But he's doing a great job this season, and he's hopefully to continue his success. As he is currently tied for the most top 10s in all of ECR with 4. With Justin Bland, Kevin Cook, Rob Burns, Anthony Titchener, and Josh Mayhew.
And you mentioned Anthony Titchener's name going down the list. I want to really quick fill our viewers in. Sean Medley, the only driver on track that has a victory this season and is still eligible for points. So with Anthony Titchener wrecked out and Sean Medley really not looking like he has a car that's going to be able to get the win tonight, we will see our 3rd driver locked into the chase, unless Aaron Berge can get back. Remember, you have to run 13 races. Aaron Berge does have a victory, but you do have to run 13 races to be eligible. Essentially going to have another driver locked in the chase tonight.
John, it'd be a great feeling for some of these drivers. I'd love to do an interview with someone else than other again. Hey, congrats, you won again. Congrats, you won again. I'd like to ask somebody how they feel to be locked into the chase.
And it would be great to talk to Matthew Thunhorst, who came in with an explosion 3 weeks ago with Auto Club, a guy we talked about with Anthony pre-race of that race. He was subbing for the suspended AJ Scarborough, and he said, I just wanted to go out there and keep the car clean and not make me pay $100K for a rebuild fee. And he ended up chewing his bumper off and finishing 2nd to his owner, Anthony Titchener. So a great start by him. Nick Olson picked him up, I believe, signed him, and here we go. He's out front and looking for his first win after he's had 3 really great races to start his season here at ECR.
Not to mention, John, how great it would be for Nick Olson to get his first Young Guns Racing victory. His number 6 machine right now. It'd be great to see him get a victory. Haters Make Us Famous has gone to victory lane 4 weeks in a row. And hopefully, well, I shouldn't say hopefully, but it looks like we have some challengers for that with AJ Scarborough and Sean Medley being the only 2 Haters Make Us Famous cars on the laps left.
And if AJ steals this, Nick Olson might just cry tonight. He has had some awful luck. Speaking of luck, there goes one of his cars a lap down, Charles Silvertooth's other car. But he's had some tough luck to start the season, and he's always here on the stream with us, and he's always chatting, and we've been wishing him the best week in, week out, but eventually he's going to have to pick up the win, and tonight looks to be his best shot so far this season to do so.
Yeah, absolutely, John, but I've been watching the times, and AJ Scarborough and Kevin Cook both have been really closing in on Matthew Thunhorst on this over the last couple laps.
Yeah,
Almost
AJ Scarborough he's not done by any means. AJ Scarborough can certainly get up there and contend still. He can contend any race, and he's really the only car left on track, maybe minus Kevin Cook, that I think could still get up there and beat him. Matthew Thunhorst is just bad fast tonight.
He really is, John, and it's great to see some new guys up there. Obviously new, but he's been up there recently, but definitely good to see some guys up there running well, and I know it feels good for the league.
Yeah, speaking of guys running well, really flipped on its head tonight. I mean, guys we've got out of the race, Anthony Titchener, Stephen Massey, Justin Bland, Aaron Vincent, guys that are running top 5, every week, and tonight they're going to be outside the top 20. Guys up in the top 10. You see there, Luis Salmazo's up there. Rob Burns is up there. Chuck Carroll's up there. Salmazo, I'm sorry. Sorry, Luis.
Do we need a vocabulary lesson up here? Come on.
Dude, I called him.
Salmazo.
It's better than when I called him for the first 4 races of the year.
Salmozo or Salmozo.
Salzmo. Luis Salzmo. Or something like
Either
that.
way, Luis is doing a great job right now, John, running 7th right now.
Yeah, no matter what we're calling him,
Nick Giles.
he's doing a fantastic job, as you said, filling in for our race controller tonight. Nick Giles, the number 9 machine. Might be his lucky number. He's on pace for, I think, his best finish of the season, correct?
I can give you a check.
Hand that over to my statistician and broadcast partner, Colin Fern, here. He's going to go dig up some info. But Luis has not really run all that great. He's had some really bad luck.
His best finish is 6th, both at Daytona and Martinsville.
He finished 6th at Martinsville?
He did. Remember, he stayed
that's
out
right.
on those old tires.
He stayed out and it worked for him. So, looking to tie.
I'd like to give a shout out for Luis, as he said in his own words, "Believe I am the only Brazilian redneck in the world."
And that would sum up Luis's personality.
I love country music. He says, I love country music. I love NASCAR, and I'm from Brazil.
And that's why we love him. Because he is a fun, bubbly guy to be around. Always a joy to talk to post and pre-race. And hopefully, I'm holding out hope we get to interview him in the top 3 finishers one night. I think he's got the talent. He'll get the cars, and I think he can really make his way to the front and do something special there when he gets back to racing in the 17.
And he's really closing out. Sean Medling for 6th right now, John.
Yeah, he's having a good run. He's been really consistent. I've been watching his lap times here on the stream, or his line, excuse me. He's running a really consistent line, hitting his marks well. He's not abusing the car, and we're set up for a long green flag run here. That should pay off. Up towards the front, speaking of gaps, AJ Scarborough holding steady at about a second. He pushed a little bit there, but holding steady, just about now drops all the way back to his 2nd and a half. But he's right there, still with Matthew Thunhorse, not pulling away quite yet. Is that 6 machine?
John, that's just he did push right there. He did a good job, and that's what some of these guys need to do. Is that if you see AJ right there, he realizes, hey, you know, we're just past halfway right now. Maybe I should lift out of this and conserve my car for the end. And that's what a lot of these guys have to understand.
I will attest, though. Last night we had our long green flag run to close it. I think, what was it, 50 laps or close to 40 laps,
something like that. Yeah.
With something about Texas and mile and a half in general, you really get that kind of highway lull to it when you get in these long green flag runs. You spread out enough to where you're not really racing anybody. It's such a consistent racetrack without the progressive banking and with the symmetrical corners. It really gets to the point almost where you lose focus because you're doing the same thing for so long. And it's easy to get back on the throttle just a little bit too early, like we saw AJ do there. And so it's something these guys have to battle, is to keep focus if something like that happens, because it's really easy, especially with the overcast skies, to kind of lull yourself in almost like a zone out type mode. You see Matthew now gapping him 2 seconds.
And Mark Figueroa moved by AJ there. That's for 2nd. Mark Figueroa, I don't think he has anything for AJ, or excuse me, for Matthew, but if he can get his car in the right position at the right time, could very well challenge for the victory.
Yeah, right now Matthew Thunhorse is in a position that we used to talk about Aaron Berkey being in a lot, where the only person that can beat you is yourself. I think he's got the fastest car. He's got absolutely no damage on the machine. The only one that can go out there and beat him is himself with a speeding penalty.
Well, I do want to point out that I'm sure Matthew is a little hurt on the inside. He did lose the Xfinity Series points lead last night, so I'm sure he wants a little revenge. I don't know, some loser.
Some loser up here in the booth with me right now. Colin Fern, my broadcast partner, is your Xfinity Series points leader by 1 point.
Over Matthew, yes, sir.
Over Matthew Thunhorse, so he did grab the
I believe another loser is
only
only 17 points back in 3rd, didn't he?
Yeah, that's a long 17 points, though. There's some good competition. That Xfinity Series, man, that's fun to race.
It's a lot of fun. It is.
Colin and I do that every Monday night. I would broadcast it, but my bandwidth doesn't seem to want to hold up enough to do so. But we have a lot of fun doing that. We raced Texas last night, brought it home, as I mentioned, pre-race 2nd and 3rd. So a good run for Moist Motorsports and a good broadcast here on Moist Online. So
absolutely.
having
We got another
teammate,
Nathan Casilla and Sean Vandergrift. Those guys are doing very well in the Xfinity Series. A lot of guys are doing very well in the Xfinity Series, John. And it's definitely a fun thing to be a part of. And these guys, I know, enjoy it just as much as I do.
Just a little taste we get every week of what these guys do out here in the Cup Series. And I know we both have a blast doing it. These guys that we see compete here week to week in the Cup Series, same guys we're seeing dominate in the Xfinity. You mentioned Matthew Thunhorse is up there in the points lead. AJ Scarborough's having some good weeks. Anthony always runs well. So it's fun to see it transfer week to week, and it's a good building block, I think, for these guys that are new to the
And
league and learning.
the one guy that's been very consistent in both series, John, is Kevin Cook in that number 45 Star Wars machine. He's third in points in the Cup Series, and he's fourth in points now in the Xfinity Series points. So he's doing a great job in his number 45 machine. He has one win in the Xfinity Series at Daytona, hopefully trying to get that first victory and clinch himself in the chase in the Cup Series tonight.
Yeah, Kevin Cook's a guy, I think, like I mentioned earlier, I think he's going to get that W. He's just so consistent. You just mentioned there, he's running so well in both series. He just got passed there for fourth by Rob Burns, or fifth, excuse me. He's a guy that I think is going to get himself a win. I think it's a matter of getting the right track, car combo, and getting some luck, but he can certainly do it. That 45 has been up front a lot early in the season.
Yeah, John, I feel like that he's the type of guy that's going to really succeed at a short track and a road course. I feel like that's where Kevin Cook would really excel in the Cup Series. He has that type of driving style where you brake hard, brake late, and he gets in the gas early. And I feel like that just fits his driving style to a T from running around him.
From the Xfinity Series, he did win Daytona, so there's always the super speedway races that we have left on the schedule. We still go back to Daytona and then still Talladega twice, so certainly not out of his range there to win in the super speedway. He did in the Xfinity Series, so that's always one to watch. And then you mentioned his driving style is really one that fits the short track. We got a short track swing coming up with Bristol and Richmond, so I think it might be coming. He might be knocking on the door of that first victory, and I think he might just be able to snag it in the coming weeks.
Oh yeah, John. After tonight, tonight we're at Texas, obviously, and we go to 3 amazing races. Like I don't know another word I could use that for the schedule. We go to Bristol Motor Speedway in Bristol, Tennessee. We go to Richmond International Raceway in Richmond, Virginia, and then we go to Talladega. And if that's not the best 3-race stretch in the entire season, I don't know what is.
That is a really fun stretch. These guys get to bottle themselves up and get their tempers and fenders bent in at these short tracks, and then they get to go out there and run 205 miles an hour in a pack around Talladega for 200, or 180 laps or whatever it is. So
188,
it's
there you go.
an interesting schedule to say the least, and I know it's going to be fun to broadcast. I'm looking forward to that Bristol race. It's going to be a lot of fun from the booth.
Absolutely, John. Definitely looking forward to it. And you see Josh Mayu and George Price now both laps down. Only 10 guys left on the lead lap. Mayu just went a lap down, which also takes the lucky dog away from George Price if a caution were to come out.
And Nick Olson mentioned in the chat, he has a point. Got to be closing in here on green flag pit stops. Cannot be too much longer. These guys got to be nearing the end here. Mark Figueroa held up hard by Aaron Vincent in the 49. He's going to have to think better of it, maybe thinking to pass these guys through line.
And yeah, John, I think we're just about halfway through a green flag run. It doesn't seem like it because it feels like we've been green for a while, but we are just about halfway. These cars can go about 55 to 60 laps, and we are on about lap 29 right now of a green flag run.
And Mark Figueroa, I just want to give a quick call, just how much lap traffic can hurt you. 1.8 seconds behind your leader, Matthew Thunhorst, hit 2 side-by-side lap cars, lost a second and a quarter just about to your leader, and brought AJ Scarborough right back to his bumper. A tough break for the double zero. Aaron Vincent, and I think that was the 50 of Matthew George side-by-side there, and just nowhere
I think that was Josh Mayu, John.
Or excuse me, the 61.
Oh, we got cars smoking down here on the backstretch into turn 3. On the apron, I'm not sure who that is. It's Jeremy Rubin in the 34. He's 61 laps out in the 20th position.
Looks
He's
like
smoking.
the 34 might have tried to get back out there, and the engine just wasn't having any of it. Tough break for him. And as Nick said, yeah, Matthew's loving it. He's 2.4 second lead. He's stretching it.
The lead did shrink on about 2/10 that last time by John.
That's why it was so sad. Mark Figueroa was making time. He's had it down to about a second and a half, and then hit lap traffic, and it's like hitting a brick wall. He dropped back a whole second, and then brought AJ Scarborough back into the picture.
Yeah, I think if we can get a late race restart, and I think Matthew has the car to beat. Is he loses another 10th to Mark there? I think he has the car to beat. It's just track position. If Figueroa or Scarborough can get a good restart if we have a late race restart, anything can happen.
I think the problem Figueroa is facing right now, he's got a good long run car, but he just gets so far behind in the short run because of Thunhorst's setup that he has a really hard time catching. You see now he made 0.3 of a second that lap, but I mean Thunhorst just has such a good short run car that he gets out there to such a lead. It's going to take a late race restart, like you said, and a lucky break, and getting in front of him, and then maybe do something with him. But Figueroa is closing a few tenths a lap.
He really is, John. I think if we get green flag pit stops here, I wouldn't be surprised to see a very good run. Texas, very similar to Atlanta type style, and Atlanta always known for those amazing finishes. Perhaps we could see one here tonight.
Certainly hope
As
so.
Figueroa closes more on that run right there, another 2 tenths.
Yeah, Figueroa's coming. I think he's considerably faster right now in that 6 car.
And AJ Scarborough also closing in about half this pace Marquez.
6 car saving fuel, maybe? Are they on the edge of a fuel window? Here they are on the edge of a fuel window.
I know they can't make it. They can make it on one stop.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, one stop here. Maybe trying to stretch this run.
Maybe perhaps a 2-tire run at the end of this?
How
Or a
many
2-tire
laps
pit
have you
stop?
been green?
We've been green at about 40 laps now.
Okay, so if it's
We
a
went green on
50
lap
lap tank of
72.
fuel, we're just going to say 50 lap tank of fuel, they got to stretch it about 2 extra laps on this run, so maybe a little bit of fuel saving?
They should be able to go 55 to 60 laps.
Well, if that's the case,
But I'm
then
wondering,
no
when the
fuel
last
saving.
time did they pit, John?
Yeah, they
Did
might have
pit?
pitted.
They might have pitted on lap 65. Let me go back and check.
Yeah, if they
They
pit on
did,
lap
John.
65 there.
They last pitted on lap 62. So I think they're good on one stop, but the pit stops are coming. I do apologize to Nick Olson for questioning him there, but pit stops are definitely coming. So is
Yeah,
Mark
we're right.
Figueroa.
I think Matthew Thunhorse might have been saving a little fuel. We're right on the edge of being able to make it on one stop. You mentioned 55 to 60 laps, or about 56 laps into this run with a few caution laps thrown in, so about 52 laps into this run. If they can stretch it 7 more laps, they should be golden on fuel. I'm thinking maybe they're thinking that there's no green
Yeah,
white
John,
checkers.
I think if they can make it to 112, I think they're all right.
Yeah, if they can make it to 112, somewhere in there,
'Cause
yeah, you're right.
I just have a
fine.
feeling we're not done with cautions yet.
But Mark Figueroa does close. He's within a second now of that lead. I think he might be able to get there before we have pit stops.
Very well could, John. He is coming, and he is coming quick. The thing is that these two up front have to realize that when one of them pits, the other has to pit immediately.
And something I'm noticing too is AJ Scarborough has stopped gaining. So whatever's happening now is solely on Mark Figueroa's setup and his driving, because AJ Scarborough has leveled out at 2.5. So unless they're both saving fuel, Mark Figueroa's just got a faster car. And you mentioned when Matthew pits here, Mark has to be within a lap behind him because tires mean a lot here.
Mark lost a little bit right there. Lost a couple tenths there.
Yeah, lost. Maybe had a feathered a little bit. These tires are right at the end of their cycle here. Maybe.
And I do want to
overdriving just a
point
little
out,
bit.
John, that we've a battle going on for 5th. That's Sean Medling in the 37 and Luis Samazo in the 9. These guys have been going at it for laps on end, and
Wouldn't it
they're
feel good
currently
for
battling
Luis
for 5th.
to get that top 5?
Wouldn't it? That's awesome.
Finally break into it. A lot of guys, I think.
He's currently doing a great job. He's currently 7th in the points, and with problems for Matthew George and Justin Bland, could very well move into the top 5 in points by the end of the night.
And he's a Chris Turcoy type of story where he just kind of runs his own race. He doesn't get anyone else's business, and he ends up every night, 10th, 11th, somewhere in there. And
he could very
your
well, John,
points
he could
racing.
have been up there so much better if he didn't get caught up in that wreck last week on lap 3.
Yeah, I mean, it's little things like that throughout a season, especially early on, that reflect even bigger. And right now, he's looking to use the lap cars and think he can't quite get there, but looks like Jeremy Rubin back out there in that 34. So he's recovered, not going to get the DNF for tonight. But yeah, Luis is a few good breaks away from having a really good season going.
And he still is having a great season, John. He's in the top 10 in points and currently in a chase spot. Doing a great job. And Mark Figueroa, John, is there.
He's a half second back, just over 5/10. Yeah, I think he's getting there before we see green flag pit stops. We're on lap 14. They are good on one stop, we believe, to the finish from here. So you think
We are.
see
I do
green
want to
flag
point
pit
out, I
stops
do
soon.
want to make it very clear, John, that in no way are we mathematicians. And in no way are we trying to be mathematicians. We are just a couple college students who hate math just as much as the rest of us.
And we're a couple communication majors, so we're definitely not math students.
Humanities and fine arts, we are.
What's there?
But I said humanities and fine arts, we are not mathematicians.
Oh no, not math. And Mark Figueroa is there.
I
have to
think
be a
Matthew's
math
going to
major
make
to
him
get this
pass on
lead.
the outside. I think Thunhorse is going to make him pass on the outside.
You'd
I
think
haven't
this is
seen
dangerous
Matthew
here
lose.
with pit stops coming.
I just don't think I haven't seen the 6 move off that white line. I don't think he's gonna. As I hear on the radio, Corey Chaffin in the 33, excuse me, is gonna be coming this time by the first of many lap cars or lead lap cars to come down. Chris Coy and Kevin Cook also on pit road.
Mark Figueroa shows the nose, and the 6 says no sir, chops down in front of him. Mark Figueroa probably not going to be too impatient here. I don't think getting the lead at this stage in a run is all that important to him. I'm sure the lap lead would be nice, but not going to go out there and risk his car.
I hear on the radio, John, that these guys are all coming this time.
You can hear them roll off the accelerator, and they are.
Here they come. This is going to be a race on pit road. And Figueroa
look at Figueroa dive in there.
And that could definitely pay dividends, John.
And that, I mean, that's the lead right there if he gets off in front of him. Now he's going to have to fall in behind him. A respectful move there. Thunhorse pit might be before his.
All the only guys to stay out so far are Sean Medling is the only guy to stay out on that little run.
And I want to give a call to the 00 there. A very he got in under the 6. Realized that the 6's pit was before his and backed out so the 6 could pit. Nice move there by the 00 to give some room there.
Yep.
Like
and this is going to be a great race off pit road.
And they will
00
exit
is going to get out behind the 6.
almost the same interval they came in.
Remember, they have to. Pit road is very slick here, John.
Yeah, you have to stay
So
below that white
have
line
to be careful.
until the backstretch. Looks like Matthew Thunhorse getting around there considerably better than Mark Figueroa. That always plays an underplayed
Figueroa
part.
all going to go back to where he was.
Your leader is Sean Medley now, the only
And he
other
has
guy with a
not
win.
pitted yet, John. And here he comes.
Here he comes this
He's
time
coming
by.
this time.
I imagine Chuck Harrell will not be far behind. Maybe going for that bonus point.
Remember, Harrell already got that
Harrell's
bonus
coming
point.
in
He
here.
did pit after.
Oh, that's right. Chuck Harrell already with the bonus point. Nothing to gain there. He's going to hit pit road. And we'll cycle back the lead to Matthew Thunhorst. And
Got
then
about
Mark
2
Figueroa
seconds.
goes behind. So a huge break by Matthew Thunhorst there on pit road. Went in with a essentially no gap, about a 0.1 gap on Mark Figueroa, and essentially because he was able to get around the apron better, is going to come out with a 2-second lead over Mark Figueroa.
And every little bit matters, John.
And this is where if we
Every
had the
little bit
graphic
you
that
can.
Fox had, we would pull up the driver comparison on the lap entering and lap exiting pit road, and you would see about a 2-second difference because, I mean, they were nose to tail coming in, and now they're half a straightaway apart.
And they're doing a great job, too.
Other event here, Luis Salmazo up into the top
There
5.
you go. Almost said it right.
I nailed it, kind of.
Salmazo.
Salmazo. All right, you'll have to talk to me after the race about that. You have to give me a Spanish lesson really quick.
No, Italian.
Is it Italian?
Salmazo. Yeah,
Okay,
I believe
Italian.
He said it was Italian, yeah.
Apologies.
Salmazo.
That does
He
have
is
an
running
Italian
fifth, though,
roll to
John.
it.
He has a 2-second lead over Sean Medling for 6, and that's just a factor of pitting before him. And Luis gets loose down the backstretch. Oh, what a save by the
All right, Colin. No more
Stop
talking about him.
No.
We
We won't,
just
Louis.
we just talked about how great he was doing, and no sooner do we do that than he's sideways.
And you see here, John, we talked about Mark Figueroa. He said it earlier in the race that his long run setup is the one to beat. He's losing considerable amount of time.
He came out at
he
2 seconds back. He's now 3.5.
Yeah, and you can just see that he's not as good on the short run. I don't know if the car is not stable enough or just not doing what he wants it to do. Just clearly off the pace. There's another 3/10 off that time by.
Yeah, he's in danger now of losing that second position to AJ Scarborough. He's only 7/10 back. Tough break because Mark Figueroa made a great run. I mean, all the way up to his bumper there before we had to pit there, and now it's like it's a completely different machine under him and struggling now to maintain second position. I want to give a call again. Chris Coy maintaining that 10th position, still on the lead lap, or excuse me, 11th position, still on the lead lap. Last car on the lead lap, but hanging
We
in
got
there.
it smoked on the backstretch. Corey Chaffin in 33 in the inside wall.
Hard in the inside wall. And
There
that
has
would
to be a
have to
caution.
bring out a caution. He's still parked down there trying to turn the machine around.
No caution.
Nope, there it is.
There it is. There it is.
What a tough
And
break.
that, John, and
Changes
that
everything.
changes everything. For the 8th time tonight, John, the yellow flag's out.
It looks
That's
like
such
he
unfortunate
just,
for Corey Chaffin. He was having such a good run.
it looks to me, he blinked
having
out a
such
little
a good
bit
run.
for me here, but it looks like he just lost it. Kind of like someone, I can't remember exactly who, but just came off the corner too tight, lost it in the middle of the racetrack, and Threw it down to that inside wall. But as you mentioned, it had a great run there.
And Josh Mayu, I believe, will get back on the lead lap, thanks to the lucky dog.
Good break for him. Certainly a guy that can get up there and contend for a few bonus positions. I want to give another call here again. We do this just about every week. But John Knoll caught up in that wreck, taken all but out of contention for any kind of good finish tonight. He's currently 74 laps down. Still on the racetrack. Dedication is everything. Track time is everything. And these guys really respect these guys that hang in there. It looks like Matthew Thunmore's coming back to pit road. That hang in there and do their best. Really? You're not surprised by that? Oh, I guess there's only 11 cars in the lead lap.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have that many cars on the lead lap, and I mean, these guys had pitted 7-8 laps ago or so, and I think tires pay a lot. I'm surprised Mark Figueroa came down on when he's better on older tires.
I was just gonna say, as I saw AJ shoving him there, I'm surprised, as you said, he pitted because new tires don't seem to be his friend. Maybe gonna take 2 and go here, but I doubt it for the 1 spot. Now everyone looking to take 4. We'll get you your race off pit road.
Oh, Figueroa!
It's going to be a tight one. Thunhorse just gets him. Luis comes off 5th. Kevin Cook comes off 6th or 7th, I believe.
And once again, John, we looked right over him. Rob Burns comes out 4th, doing another fantastic job in his number 12 Exxon machine.
Another, as you mentioned, great runs for 2nd in points, Rob Burns. He's still right there, still not out of a chance to win this thing. I mean, we've seen with the cautions, the way they fall tonight, nobody from really anywhere on the lead lap is not have a chance to win. Any second now, these guys could find themselves another one of those fiery, twisted up metal junkyards that happen down there in the backstretch. So hanging in there and keeping going. Certainly a big point is Rob Burns in 4th, Luis in 5th. So not out of it yet.
Hey, John, it has to be very, I'm curious to see. We talked about pre-race, about turn 4 coming out of nowhere for some of these drivers. And it's turn 2 that's really causing a lot of problems.
Yeah, turn 2, turn 4 is rough because you're coming onto the front stretch. You think you should be able to push out. And the way the quad oval works, it kind of comes up on you. But turn 2, it feels like a short track exit because the wall is just so flat and the banking change is so severe. Really cost a lot of these guys, not only in the wall, but just getting loose and snapping off the corner, maybe turning a little too much. So turn 2 has been the, aside from Stephen Massey's wreck, really the zone to watch tonight. A lot of wrecks there.
Yeah, it's just a factor of the turn, I think. You either get loose trying not to hit it, or you get tight and hit it. So there's really no in between. You gotta just have to find a happy medium.
And again, we talk about it every week, but our front 2 cars with not a speck of damage on them. The 6 car completely clean, the 00 completely clean, and even the 5, just a little bit of that left side damage. So keeping your fenders clean, we talk about it in our team chats for the Xfinity race every week. Keeping your fenders and your noses clean, the most important part of any racing that you'll ever do. Cannot win a race without a race car. So
I do want to give a shout out. We'll go through the list of lap down cars so far. Currently, Corey Chaffin is 3 laps down in the 12th position. Matthew George, 13th, 6 laps down. Charles Silver, 14th, 19 laps down. Nick Groth, 15th. Aaron Vincent, 16th. Matt Moritz, 17th. Anthony Disher not going back-to-back. Obviously, he's in 18th, 66 laps down. John Knowles, 19th. Jeremy Rubin, 20th. Justin Bland, 21st. Both of them are back out on track. Stephen Massey, 22nd. 89 laps down. Matthew Hibbs, 23rd, 90 laps down. He will get by in the 97 to Stephen Massey, who has retired. And Wayne Willard is also retired from tonight's event, 24th.
So those are your tough breaks for the night, your unfortunate breaks, if you will. We haven't used that word a lot tonight. Thankfully, we've had a lot of things go pretty right tonight, but they are double file, getting ready to go back. You ran through the lap cars.
To go, John.
I'll take you through your top 5 here. Matthew Thunhorse, Mark Figueroa, AJ Scarborough, Rob Burns, Kevin Cook, and Luis Salmazo. Honorable mention just outside the top 5.
He said it.
He said it right. I said it right.
Sean Medling, 7th. Chuck Harrell, 8th. George Price, 9th. Chris Coy, 10th. And Josh Mayu rounds out the lead lap cars in 11th. And we're getting ready to go green flag racing, John, with just 40 laps to go tonight.
And Mark Figueroa's got to make something happen on the restart. He does not have the long run car to compete with Matthew Thunhorse. If he wants to do it, this might be his only chance.
Either that or AJ's going to have to get by the 00 very quick, pace cars off, the hard left turn, and green flags out.
And Matthew Thunhorse did take the outside lane again. Quick mention, we didn't talk about it there.
He didn't get as good as restart as he has been.
No, he did not.
He got a good restart, but he didn't.
Mark
didn't get
Figueroa
as
will be
good.
making some adjustments to that race car. He's right there. AJ Scarborough looking for it. Rob Burns sliding
Oh,
for it.
Mark chopped him. Here comes AJ underneath him.
AJ's not going to appreciate that after their earlier contact. These guys are not going to give each other any room.
have been around each other all night long, John. Mark Figueroa really chases up the hill. AJ cleared a second, John. I think if anybody's going to give Matthew a shot on the short run, I think it's going to be him.
And that was not what Matthew wanted to see. A quick pass by the 5, and he sets sail. The only car in front of him now, that's 6. And he's looking to go. Speaking of looking to go, Luis to the bottom. Oh, and he pushes.
Good catch by him. Kevin Cook's going to get the run off turn 2. That's a nice battle for 5th place.
Kevin Cook looking low on Luis now. And Luis not going to pinch too much there. Sean Menden's going to take advantage.
His 102.5 to bone. We haven't talked about that paint scheme all night long, but AJ Scarborough, John, is there.
And he knows that he has to get it right now. You cannot let that 6 get out and clean air and run his race. You have to at least pressure him. And AJ hard into the... Oh, not hard. He caught it, but just a little scrape. That looked like that was going to be his night.
I saw the 6 exiting the corner low. I didn't know if he was getting loose or if the 5 was pushing, but
I'm not even
the 5
sure.
was pushing.
I think the 6 exited it perfect. I think the 5 just shot way up the racetrack.
I mean, that caught me way off guard.
I thought he was done there. That car was turned. Looked like it was going straight into that wall. A great catch by him. So he recovers and still right there, only 4/10 back.
He's doing a great job, John. His number 5 car. And Rob Burns giving the 0-0 hell for 3rd place, John.
Yeah,
Kevin
Mark
Cook
Figueroa
also right there.
Not going all that well. The short run's really killing him tonight. A Jeff Gordon-esque kind of setup on that race car. Struggling on the short runs, and the 12 and the 45 are there looking to get by him.
And John, I think if Mark can stay within 2 seconds of Matthew Thunhorst and AJ Scarborough before his car comes into play, I think he could very well be there at the end if this thing stays green.
Yeah, he has to keep these 2 cars behind him.
If this doesn't stay green, he's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he needs a green flag run, and he needs to keep these 2 cars. If any of these 2 cars get by him, they're both going by him, and then that just adds more cars for him to pass. He has to fight like this is for the win right here, because this really is for the shot for him at the victory. And, I mean, these guys don't realize that. It's going to be frustrating that he's not going to let him by, but, I mean, really from the inside of that 0-0 car, this could be your race.
Oh, he's going to throw a little chop block there on the 12. I don't know if the 12's going to appreciate that. He's going to back off a little bit. 0-0's going to try to get it.
He knows what this is. I don't think he has any doubts that he pretty much has to hold this. He's driving the wheels off of that car trying to keep that 12 back there.
AJ Scarborough lost just about a half a tenth that time by, but really driving it in hard. Matthew Thunhorst is beating him on exit, but AJ Scarborough beating him on entry.
That gap about 6/10 between your 2 leaders right now. The gap between your 3rd, 4th, and 5th cars, there isn't one. These guys all over each other. Figueroa throws another little chop block on the 12 there. The 12 eventually going to get sick of that. Going to have to start using the old chrome horn here in a minute, but great race, and that's brought Sean Medling back into the battle. And Luis not far behind.
Yeah, John, we got good battles everywhere on track right now, especially for that battle from 3rd on back to about 7th. Those guys are really eager to get everything they can out of their car. I see Mark, he's staying right about 2 seconds back. If his car can come in just that much earlier, I think he has a shot.
Yeah, these guys, different agendas right now. The 12, the 45, the 37, they're just looking at it as a spot. The 0-0 is looking at it as a chance to win. And it's a really weird limbo to be in because the 0-0 is obviously in a race.
AJ into the outside wall. And that's it for him. He's in the outside
wall.
wall.
AJ's engine done. The flash from the exhaust pipes. He's all blown up now, and the caution is out.
And there goes that.
And there goes the 2nd place car. See what happened here.
He just got loose, John, and
just got loose the middle of the track and into the wall, and then into the wall again, and there you see the flash out the pipes.
Well, I don't think he would have hit the wall again, except he was being respectful to the drivers around him and want to come down.
Yeah, he could have very easily tried to spin that car out. I think he knew once he got it once, his night was all but done. Good move by him, throw it back into the wall, keep everybody else safe. And tough break. We mentioned AJ's just had
we had exactly a 10-lap run, John. Do you pit?
31 to go. I say pit. I mean, there's only 8 cars on the lead lap.
I say if the leader picks, I'm going to do the opposite of the leader. I think
you really think this early you do the opposite, 31 to go?
Because I think track position's key, John. I think it's hard to pass.
Especially if you're Mark.
if the 6 gets back to 4th or 5th place, it could very well be troubling for him.
If you're Mark, I don't think you pit here no matter what,
No.
because your car is not good on new tires.
It's not, John.
Matthew gonna bring it down.
And Figueroa,
Mark
everyone else
follows,
coming down.
questionably follows suit. Something he's seeing that we're not, because that car not good on the short runs, but he keeps throwing new Goodyears on it.
Yeah. I think it's a factor that his car, he doesn't get faster over a run, but in comparison to the other drivers, it's very similar to you last night, that he gets better over the run.
Yeah, he more maintains consistency, and everyone else kind of falls off. So, yeah, you're right. Not putting new tires on it really just a disadvantage. He's kind of just got to hope it goes green from here. Tough break for AJ, though. Looks like he still had power
And
in
a
that
very
car.
quick pit stop by the 6.
He's going to win the battle off pit road. Rob Burns is going to follow.
Rob Burns second. Is that Sean Medling third or
Sean
Mark?
Medling fighting there for
What a
fourth,
battle.
I think.
And I think Kevin Cook just got caught speeding, John.
It's going to be a tough break for that 45. Not that tough of a break. There's only a few cars on the lead lap, but
It is. Kevin Cook did get caught speeding.
Kevin Cook to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to fall back to the 10th position and have to start behind all the lap cars. So a tough break for the 45.
I'm going to see if we can get a word here, John, under yellow with our favorite Brazilian redneck. Hey, Luis, you got copy, buddy?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey, man, you've done a great job. I mean, you're in 5th place right now, and you're number 9. You're filling in for Nick Giles in your U.S. Air Force Jag car. What are you looking for as this race winds down?
Well, we did what we planned to do. That was keep this car clean.
Oh, what's this chump doing up
The
here?
Air
about the
Force
pace
Jag
car?
running well for Nick. Just trying to replace him tonight as he's acting race control for us.
Hey, sorry about that.
What I'm looking for is just
come down low. I didn't know if you were
keep
gonna
doing
go
what we're
59,
doing.
so sorry
If
for running low.
there's an opening, we're going to take it. We're not going to be shy about it.
Okay.
But I just want to save
what?
the best position
Man, I
we
always
can.
love racing
So
guys.
we
I hate
did a
to
pretty
see
good
guys
job
back
so
out.
far.
Especially you,
Spotters,
AJ. You
the
and Mark
team,
are giving
pit
me hell all
crew.
night.
We just
And
want
Mark's
to
still
finish
gonna
this
give me
thing
hell
the
all
way
night.
we've been
Probably a few
running.
other guys.
Absolutely, man. Well, good luck the rest of the race, man. You're running 5th. Good luck tonight, and obviously, good luck the rest of the season. And see if you can go out there and get maybe this one not the last time we talk to you tonight.
Yes, sir.
He-
Put the
he
Jaws
needs
team
about
up.
30,
We're going to
40
the
laps.
front.
And that was the driver, everyone's favorite Brazilian, the number 9 car, Luis Salmazo, filling in tonight.
Brazilian redneck.
Right,
yeah,
Brazilian redneck. That's more your line. I'm not cool enough to say stuff like that.
Oh, come on, man. Don't say that.
But he's filling in nicely for Nick. We mentioned doing the sub
He's
job
doing a great
tonight for the
job.
owner's points, and Nick got to be pleased with what he's doing tonight.
Absolutely. And Nick Giles, John, currently struggling in owner's points. I mean, he's in 19th. Only 146 points. 90 points out of first place, but this has to help him with, obviously, the first 2 cars, the 87 struggling tonight.
Yeah, I mean, Luis up in the top 5, looking for his best finish of the season, maybe best career finish here in ECR, doing a very good job. Set the field for you here, Matthew Thunhorse, your leader. Rob Burns got out in 2nd place. Sean Medling in 3rd. Mark Figueroa, Sean Medling going to be in 4th. A little bit of bug at the line there. Mark Figueroa going to be in 3rd, and Chuck Harrell going to be around that at your top 5.
Yeah, John, Luis Salmazo is going to be 6th. Chris Turcoy 7th. George Price 8th. Josh Mayu 9th. And Kevin Cook with the speeding penalty will ride it out the top 10. That's who we have on that lead lap. AJ Scarborough 1 lap down after that caution. And we're going to have 27 laps to go this time by.
Is AJ back out on track? No,
I
he
don't
is
think
currently
so.
parked in pit road. Okay. So if he got that car back on track, that is one hell of a pit crew. But he is currently on pit road. He'll fall back a little bit more. Tough break for him. But we still have green flag racing. Matthew Thunhorse takes the outside lane, coming to 27 to go, and hopefully their last restart of the night. Pace car's off. Matthew Thunhorse looking like he's going to want to jump it. Hold just a second and he's gone.
Mm-hmm. Mark Figueroa, John, wants to get underneath the 12 of Rob Burns, and he's not going to. I think he is. I don't think he's going to throw it in there, though.
Nope, the 12 going to be clear there. The 37 the one on the high side. Luis looking to take advantage of that. Not going to be able to. So now if you're the 00 or the 12, you got to go. Because that 6 gets
waste any
smaller
time,
and smaller
obviously.
every lap.
Yes, you cannot waste any time. And if you're Matthew, you just have to do what you've been doing. And Luis is clear to 4th.
Speaking of not wasting time, Luis clear to 4th and closing on the 00 looking for that podium finish.
Wouldn't that be something? That'd be awesome.
think he might stick with the 9. Might have to
Oh,
buy that
Rob
off
Burns
in there.
gets a good run through the center, John. He's closing in on Matthew Dunlop's
We
off
haven't
turn
seen
2.
what Rob Burns can do all night long. He might be the car to beat. He's been in traffic all night long. Now he's got clean air and right on the bumper of our leader.
Oh, Matthew got loose. Matthew at the apron. Here comes Rob Burns. Oh, baby. Oh,
What a
wow.
move by Rob to stick it in there.
I think Matthew's gonna make him go to the outside. No, he's not.
Trying to maybe disrupt the air on the nose of the 12. It's going to work.
He
12
did, he
pushes
did.
just a little bit.
Great job by the 6 there.
That's a nice move. Swipe across the nose. It disrupts that air. Gets him a little aero tight in the corner. Matthews certainly knows what he's doing out front.
Yes, he does. He has to stay off that apron. He clips it a little bit there again. He's got to counter steer, chase it up the hill. 12's going to get there.
I wonder if he made some adjustments to that car. Maybe making it a little bit, I guess, more rotate happy than it has been all night. He's really turning this car into this corner.
He really is, John. Oh, and he pushes up the hill. He's entering high. He's going to exit low. It's going to help him on exit. It's going to hurt him on entry.
Rob Burns is right there, but not making any time. This could be your moves of the race that are happening right now. If Rob can't make it happen, Matthews all but just got to cruise away, and Mark Figueroa's hanging in there too.
He is, John. And I'm wondering if this thing stays, if maybe the 6 and the 12 hurt their tires a little earlier, if perhaps the 00's tires will come in.
Yeah, right now, this is best case scenario for Mark. These two pressuring each other really and using up their stuff. Not a lot of laps left, but enough, I think, that tires could play a factor.
Rob Burns not letting the 6 get away, making it a good race for our viewers at home. 37 and the 9 are battling back for 4th place, but not right now. The 12 and the 6 are going at it for the lead.
These guys all over one another. Biggest competition. You can see the difference in the line there. Matthew kind of takes a different line to the quad over. Rob kind of like a swooping cut. Maybe get a little more momentum there.
Wow, what a battle we have for the lead, John.
Exciting stuff. We mentioned it in the pre-race. Texas, one of those tracks that produces some fun finishes. Could see one tonight. The 12 car not going anywhere when it comes to the bumper of that 6.
I'm just wondering, John, are we going to have anybody say that he left a hole open? I took it. Little Brad Kozlowski there. Rob Burns going to get a good run off turn 2 there.
I really hope that's not how this race ends. not after the night we've had.
John, I do want to point out that if this race ends where they are now, Rob Burns will leave Texas as the overall points leader.
Now again, with the win in your in chase system, Anthony would still be first on the chase grid, but in terms of overall season points, Rob Burns moving to first. If Rob Burns could etch the win, he'd still be second on the chase grid, because Anthony, I believe, has 3 victories, and it goes by victories on the chase grid, then points, but would certainly be locked in the chase and then have a chance to jump up in that chase grid. So big move here, as we mentioned, winning your in chase, and none of these drivers, minus Sean Medley on the track, have won yet this season.
Oh, that lap car there.
That's going to play a factor.
Really going to hurt the progress of the 12 and the 00. They both lost a 10th just off turn 4 alone.
I can say I had that happen to me last night. When you cannot exit all the way to the wall, when you enter thinking you can, you run your whole line as if you're going to have that, and then you really have to lift. And that cost the 12 there. 37 with a bold move below
Sean,
the number 9.
I was say, I see that from the front stretch, John. I didn't know if he got loose or got tight, or just overall making a good move, but the 9's not going to put up too much of a fight. He realizes that he battles. I think he realized that if he tries racing him, he's going to lose. Oh, maybe not. He's going to go in right back underneath him.
Hey, Luis just wants to have fun.
He does. That's all Luis is. And look at Rob Burns. He's closing right back down the 6.
As much as we love Luis, I hate to say it, not one of those drivers really that's going to run for a championship this year, more so of a guy that's trying to learn and build. So when it comes to a chance like this to get up there and race for a position, he's certainly going to do it. I don't think Luis is going to be one to back down from really any challenge. Speaking of challenges, challenge for second place right now, the 00 looking at that 12.
I'm wondering if Mark can get around him, John, if perhaps...
And he's going to do it right here. What a run through the middle by Figueroa. Maybe too good of a run.
I don't think he expected it. He hasn't been running the bottom that much at all, John, on exit, and that really hurt him. That's going to help out the 6's lot.
Yeah, that was one of the best runs I've seen all night long to the center.
Almost got into the wall. 6 had to get out of it off turn 4.
Colin, you're going to kill Nick Olson. That poor guy right now is having heart palpitations, and you're not helping with calls like that. Poor Nick Olson going crazy in the chat. His driver trying to hold on. We're coming to 15 to go. He stretched it out now to about half a second, but that is not much. The 12 and the 00 is still right there.
This is crazy, John. This is a lot of fun. Great racing all the way around this racetrack. Mark Figueroa is going to try again to get underneath the 12.
Mark has to get him right here.
If he can't fool around anymore, John. 12's going to push
15
up. I think,
to go.
I think Mark's going to get the run here.
Yeah, it's 12 pushing.
He's going to clear him. Clear to second. Mark Figueroa is now going to set his sights on Matthew Dunhorse.
The gap is going to be 0.8 at the line with 14 laps to go. Excuse me, just a little over 0.8, probably about a second. We're going to put it at a second, 14 laps to go. Can he get there?
I think he can, John. I think it's just going to be a consistency thing.
It's going to be who can hit their marks better. They both have very fast race cars. Matthew Thunhorse
I do want to point out that while Mark made a pass at that time by John, he did run a faster lap than Matthew Dunhorse while making a pass.
Yeah, he closed a surprising amount on Matthew there for battling with a race car. That bottom line maybe being friendly to that 00 car.
He's going to get a good run. He's actually running more of a middle line through 3 and 4, so he's getting that good run off. He closed a little bit there, half a tenth.
He just needs just a little over that half a tenth a second mark right now. He's only 7 tenths back, 13 to go. Once he catches that draft, I think it'll help too. And then once he's there, obviously making the pass. I think he's probably going to get there. It's a matter of can he get there and do anything with him.
I think we saw him be able to make the pass. Matthew knows what he's doing and trying to keep a car behind him. And a tenth, he gained a whole tenth that time by John.
Just a little over, about 1.2 tenths. He's going to be there. He's only 0.6 back. Matthew does not have a long run race car, and we're getting to that point in this run where we're kind of eking towards a long run. Right now, he needs it to stay green if you're Mark Figueroa, and if you're Matthew Thunhorst, just hoping for that caution.
Yeah, Matthew Dunhorse has been able to get great restarts all night long, John. If there's another yellow flag, I think it's his race. Obviously, with pit stops, you never know. Mark closed in a little bit, not too much that time by, but did close the gap just enough.
As long as he doesn't lose, I think he can get there.
Oh, yeah, John. Look at him. He's carrying the thing as far as it will go out to that safer barrier.
If Mark cannot afford one slip, he needs perfection. Neither one of these drivers can afford a slip, but Mark definitely can't. This is that really tense time where all those laps of practice really come down to this. You just need to run 10 perfect laps.
And he closed another 10th right there, John. 10 laps to go.
Half a
if
tenth
this thing
back.
stays green, we're going to have one hell of a finish tonight here on MOTV.
He is there, too, closing again down the backstretch. That 6 car getting ever smaller in his windshield. Coming to 9 laps to go. There is a lap car ahead. Where they catch that car on exit
Definitely
could play a factor.
I think it's really going to hurt the 00. I think he's going to catch him right on entry, John.
That is not going to be good for the 00 car.
Yeah,
he's
that's
kind of
going to hurt
able
him
to
a
run
little
his
bit.
line there.
Hurt him a little bit, not too bad. He did close about... They ran about the same lap that time, but Mark really closed the gap
He
off
gained
turn 2.
big time with that run into the corner. We thought it may be a bad line, but making it work. Colin, he's there.
Wow. And John, how much of a heartbreak would it be for Matthew Thunhorst if he came so close,
Again.
so close yet again? He has 2 second-place finishes in what could have been a win, possibly a second place last week.
Yeah, Matthew's pretty much run in the lead or second place all season since he's been in here.
Oh, Mark almost up into the wall. What a run.
That
He's
was almost the
everything
race.
he can out of his National Guard Chevrolet.
Coming to 7 laps to go, folks, and they are on each other's bumpers. Gonna have
This
one of
is
those
awesome.
Texas finishes.
You can only find us on MOTV, John, every Tuesday night, 9:30 Eastern. Mark Figueroa's there.
Some of the best racing you're going to find on iRacing here from the Elite Championship Racing League. These guys are so much fun to watch. They know each other so well. They're such friends off the track. On the track, they're such competitors, and we love coming out and doing it every week. You mentioned every Tuesday night, 9:23 Eastern. Come out here. These guys they put on one heck of a show.
I'll say the least. We got battles all over the place right now. We got a nice battle. I believe that's for 5th place, Luis Samazo and Kevin Cook for 5th place, but right now we're focused on the lead. 5 to go that time by. Excuse me, 6 to go that time by.
And he gained
And Mark is
another
there.
80 thousandths of a second there. He's still there again. Remember, we saw it.
Wow.
Getting there and passing, 2 very different things.
You see, he's really closing the gap on entry, but he's losing a little bit on exit. He seems to be closing about a tenth on entry and losing about half a tenth on exit. And at that rate, John, he's going to be there.
And you know what I think it is, Colin? I think he gets up there, and once he gets so close, the car just gets aero tight. We saw Matthew doing the swipe across the nose earlier to mess that car up. It's so hard to pass here because when you get to somebody, the car just wants to push. And right now, you mentioned he's losing the time. There he gets a nice run. He's just going to have to get to him. If he can get to him, he can get under him and loosen him up a little bit. Coming to 4 to go. He's got to do it quick.
Oh, he's going to get a good run off turn 4, John. Mirroring each
run.
other's lines coming off turn 4. Here they come, John. 4 to go this time by.
Nick Olson's heart rate is about as high as the miles per hour these cars are running as they go off into the corner. Just about 200 and almost contact.
He's going to make it stick off turn 2. Johnny's there.
He's going to run up his bumper.
Side by side for the lead. Down the backstretch. 3.5 laps to go.
Lap car out of the way. That's Jeremy Rubin side by side.
Oh,
Couldn't put a piece of paper between these two cars.
Figueroa got loose. Thunderhorse is going to get the lead off turn 4. He's going to lead this time by 3 to go.
What a race down the stretch, side by side across the start-finish line. Figueroa with the preferred line, but Thunderhorse with the race car. Pushing just a little bit.
If Mark can keep Matthew on the outside, I think it's his race.
Matthew is doing such a great job of pinching
on
and
the
side
outside.
drafting.
No, we haven't seen anybody be able to get that outside line working.
He's pinching him just at the right time where he can't let the throttle release.
And Matthew's Thunderhorse leads this lap yet again. 2 to go this time by John.
This could be the best finish of the season. Side by side for the past 3 laps, almost contact every corner. They're somehow hanging it. Then Thunderhorse gets a little loose.
If Thunderhorse is going to win this race, John, he's going to have to cross him over. Right?
Figueroa
he's not going to be able to
clears.
stay on the outside.
Figueroa is going to be your leader at the white flag. Matthew Thunderhorse is going to be about a 10th back.
He pushed. That's it, John.
And it looks like Figueroa is going to gap into the white flag. Thunderhorse
Figueroa
really has to do something now. There is lap traffic ahead. Oh, what a heartbreak this would be for Matthew Thunderhorse.
Oh, my God. A dominating night for Matthew Thunderhorse, John. And it could all go for naught. It's Mark Figueroa.
One more corner for Mark Figueroa.
Turn 3. He just lapped his teammate Nick Groff again. That's going to be 88 laps down for the 19. But it all doesn't matter, John. Mark Figueroa is going to come off turn 4. And John, Mark Figueroa is going to be in the ECR chase.
And what a heartbreak.
Wow.
Matthew Thunderhorse comes home second. I cannot begin to explain what he's feeling behind the wheel at number 6.
Sean Medling 4th, and Luis Damaso is going to come across the line 5th.
His season best finish, a 5th for Luis. A great top 5 run by him. Kevin Cook comes home. Luis showing 6th.
And while this is all happening, John, Rob Burns is the new overall points leader.
So we come into Texas. Anthony Ditchner, your points leader with 2 back-to-back wins. He gets wrecked out. Rob Burns is going to leave your points leader. The car that dominated all night in the 6 does not win. And your winner tonight, the 00 car, Mark Figueroa, the guy that tried to spoil college night a week ago, comes in tonight and spoils everybody's night over at Young Guns Racing. Comes home with a victory.
I can't imagine the heartbreak Matthew Thunderhorse is experiencing right now.
That is one of the toughest ways to lose a race. You have the best car, your competition gets wrecked out, and to come home second on a second-to-last lap pass
just
by a guy
so unfortunate, John.
that didn't seem to have it. That's crazy. I'm speechless. That is one of the best finishes I've seen on iRacing.
Great overall, and that is just overall great racing. And Mark Figueroa both those drivers did a great job, and Matthew Thunderhorse did an admirable job on the outside line holding that. And John, I do want to point out, Mark Figueroa led 2 laps, John, tonight. You want to know what those 2 laps were?
I'm going to guess the final 2.
The final 2 laps.
Going Kevin Harvick, the closer style of Texas. Mark Figueroa, your winner, and we'll go ahead and kick off our post-race interviews, starting with, not to be left out, the 12 of Rob Burns, who came home 3rd.
And Rob, got a copy, buddy?
Yep, gotcha.
Hey, man, you've quietly but surely been making noise, and I do want to point out that you do have the most points in the ECR Cup Series, and that has to feel good.
Sorry, I didn't hear you here. Other chat here. Say that again.
I just want to point out that you are the points leader, the overall points leader in the ECR Cup Series, man. And that has to feel good after 7 weeks.
Definitely feels good. I just need to win now. That's all.
I mean, you've done a great job so far. You've quietly been making noise, I guess. I mean, you're really overusing that term tonight. But you're doing a great job. I mean, you're now the points leader. I mean, you have 5 top 10s. You have 4 top 5s. And you've really just been excelling consistently. You've done a great job, and that has to – I mean, what have you been doing that just makes you that consistent?
I tell you what, just working with my teammates, starting early in the week, getting a little base set going, and then watching the weather, changing things as it goes through. And the big thing is I'm setting up for the long run. I'm looking to run, put some laps on the tires, and through that I can make my way through the field, because a lot of guys burn out those tires real quick, and that's pretty much what I look to do every week.
Absolutely, man. You've done a great job. I mean, you haven't finished worse than 13th all year long. You've got 31 or more points all season long in each race, and you've completed over 97% of the laps. And not to mention, you have 4 top 5s, and you are the points leader, man. You've done a great job, and congratulations on being the points leader, leaving Texas. And good luck next week as you head to Bristol.
All right, thanks, guys. Great job tonight.
That was your third-place finisher, the number 12 of Rob Burns. And now the interview I honestly hate to do because I feel like this should be for first place. Matthew, got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got y'all.
Well, I was thinking we were going to do this interview for first place tonight, but Mark just clipped you at the end. What are the emotions like behind the wheel at 6?
I just, man, it's good that Mark got a win, but it sucks to just lead so much of this race and look like you were going to walk away, and caution after caution just kept bringing those guys back in it, and he raced me clean, and that's all I can ask for, but second sucks.
And I know it has to hurt. Colin and I both had you pegged early in the race. Once Anthony got taken out, you were the favorite by far. You had the best car, and you mentioned the cautions there at the end. Racing down the finish, though, that was an amazing race. You hung so tight on the outside. How were you able to do that? Nobody else hung on the outside all night until that finish there.
It was just because of the fact I was pinching Mark so hard, and I was still able to get enough of the good lane, and I didn't put all the fuel in my car, which tightened me up too early and didn't let me get away, and I think if I didn't do that, I would have been able to hold him off, but the car was just able to rotate, and I was able to hold off long enough, but finally on 2, it's just the tires got too heated up there, and he just got me.
And I just want to interrupt real quick, Matthew. I do want to point out that you've done an amazing job. You've in only 4 races this season, you've had 3 second-place finishes. And you could have very well finished second or even got a win last week at Las Vegas. Congratulations on just having such an amazing start. Obviously, you started a few races late, but just congratulations on an amazing start to the season.
Yeah, all I can say, though, is it'd be nice if those seconds were wins.
And we certainly hope going forward next week at Bristol. Bristol, a track that you enjoy. We can expect anything next week at Bristol. You think you're going to be able to notch that first victory of the season?
If I can keep out of trouble like I did here, I'd watch out for the 6 again.
Well, we certainly look forward to it. I've never had to do a second-place interview that I think hurt this much. But a good run tonight, buddy, a good second place, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Bristol.
Yeah, thanks, y'all. See you there.
And that was your second-place finish, but not by much, the 6th car of Matthew Thunhorst. And now, the guy that came out of nowhere, the closer tonight, Mark Figueroa. Colin, you want to take this one away?
And I'm John. I'm down here in victory lane with the 00 Mark Figueroa. He led 2 laps all night long, and I think those were the 2 that counted most. Mark, congratulations on your victory, bud.
Hey, I appreciate it. Colin. That was a hard-fought battle with Matthew there. I mean, he didn't give me an inch. He made me work for every bit of track, every bit of real estate that I could muster up to get him to pass him. But that was a good, hard-fought win. I'm extremely happy.
And you really struggled early on in the season. I mean, you didn't even finish inside the top 15 until last week at Vegas, and the last 2 weeks you finished 3rd and 1st. And just what is the momentum change turn around for you in the 00 machine? You've done a great job. How does it feel to have the momentum shift towards good things?
It feels good, Colin. My 00 National Guard Chevy, I mean, I had to sit down and really have a come-to-Jesus meeting with myself. I had to settle myself down and just race the track and not other race cars. And once I figured that out at Vegas last week and just ran my race how I wanted to run it, and it paid off in the long run.
Absolutely, man. And we talked about you. I talked to you earlier in the night. I mean, during the pre-race show, and you said that you felt like you worked hard on the long run, and you felt like that's where you were going to excel. And obviously, it proved tonight when you had that about 30-lap run at the end, and you were able to stay close to Matthew until the moment where you got by Rob, and then you got by Matthew in the end. That just has to feel so amazing.
Yes, it does. That last caution that came out, I was cussing up and down. I'm like, man, that long green flag run that we had, whenever I decided to pit with Matthew, and I'm like, this race is mine. The caution came out. I'm like, no, I hope I can pull a rabbit out of the hat and really pull this one out. So.
Well, you're clinched into the ECR chase. You're third on the chase grid. Excuse me, I believe second on the chase grid now. After that victory, and you head to Bristol next week. Are you looking forward to Bristol?
Really, I'm kind of up in the air. I've got a lot of testing to do between now and next week Tuesday to really get a good setup underneath me. I'm going to end up putting close to 2,000 laps in this next week to try to get something under me.
Absolutely, John. And he came in 11th on the chase grid, and he leaves second on the chase grid, and he leaves clinched into the chase. Figueroa on the 00 National Guard Chevrolet out of Bloomingdale, Georgia. Congratulations on your win, man.
I appreciate it. Gentlemen, you guys doing a great job. I appreciate it.
And that was, with the kind words there, the winner tonight, the 00 Mark Figueroa. Colin mentioned he led 2 laps, and they were the last 2. So, story early in this race, cautions. A lot of cautions early in the race. We had 9, and then towards the end, really the story was great racing. Colin, any closing thoughts on what was overall a fantastic night?
Just, John, so many headlines to go through tonight. Luis Samazo getting his first top 5 in the ECR season. Anthony Fisher losing the points lead while holding on to the chase grid. Justin Bland, Matthew George both having problems. And overall, John, Chris Coy with another good run. He's going to finish 8th tonight. And these guys are just doing an admirable job of being consistent. And I think consistency is really starting to pay off for these guys, especially Rob Burns, our new points leader.
And that has been the story of the season, consistency. Matthew Thunhorse, consistent. He mentioned he wanted to get some wins. Tonight comes home second. Mark Figueroa locked in the chase grid. You mentioned Luis with the top 5. And Chris Coy with the 8th. So overall, a great night for most, a bad night for some. Bristol next week, 9:23 Eastern, right here on this Twitch channel. We thank you all for coming out again. It was an amazing night of racing. You see there on your screen now the Twitters as well as the time. We urge you to come back. It was exciting tonight. It'll be even more exciting next week. We go to the high banks and tight quarters of Bristol, Tennessee. So, for myself, John Bucher, my broadcast partner, Colin Fern, everyone here at MOTV, we had an amazing night tonight. We look forward to seeing you next week at Bristol, Tuesday night, 9:23. Come on back, and hopefully we see a finish even close to as good as we saw tonight. So, an amazing win by Mark, a great run by Matthew, and really a great run by everybody in the field. So, thank you guys for coming out, and we'll catch you all next Tuesday.